Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Black Spinner Music Podcast. And we're starting a little late, but that is okay because we are all finally here. We're still waiting for Kate to join in with us. We are going to be talking about the top albums. We are going to be talking about the top 10 albums plus five honorable mentions of the year 1983. And today we got our guests here on the podcast. We have Jerry Soupy from the Mark and Jerry BS sessions with with Charles Trainer. And also we got the great Nate Bushy Atkinson from the Bushy Power Hour from that metal station. You can catch them on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Central to 1 p.m. And he plays a lot of great rock music um, with different subjects and stuff. And also, we got Al Horta from the Be Cool or Be Podcast Out. Check him out on YouTube. He puts on some really good live stuff on there. Check that out. And we also have Mark Alden Taylor he wears so many different hats in the world of podcasting. He does the Freeform Rock podcast, and he also does the BS sessions with the Mark and Jerry with Charles Trainer. So he is joining us tonight. Hey, Al, do you want to go in and come back? Do you want to go out and come back in?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that always works.
It's always Al.
Always Al. But then when he comes back in, he's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're still recording. You got dead space going on.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how you doing? Let's get this thing going.
No, so I was going to say, unfortunately, today we lost one of our rock and roll heroes. I am talking about the one and only Jeff Beck. He started off in the Yardbirds in the late to mid '60s, but then he moved on and started a very fantastic solo year that a lot of twists and turns because of his musical talent. He started off with a couple of albums where he had Rod Stewart as the lead vocalist in kind of a bluesy rock band, which was great. That lasted for a couple of albums, and not because the band was falling apart. It's because Jeff Beck moved around a lot. He couldn't stay in one spot for too long, and then he moved on to Rock Fusion, where he put together the Jeff Beck group. And also, a couple of albums there in the '70s were produced by the great George Martin. Great albums like Blow by Blow and Wired, just great jazz rock fusion. And then he'll move on with he will have Jan Hammer as one of his keyboardists, and they would go on a very successful ride through the early '80s. And from there, his music stayed very adventurous. So we are going to miss Jeff Beck. I was lucky enough to see him one time. He was on stage with ZZ Top. It was fantastic, but we are going to miss him. He's I want to say that I'm talking for everyone because he is a part of my daily life when it comes to music. I've got several of his albums, and I do throw him on quite a bit. His guitar player was very comfortable to me. Does anyone else want to add anything about Jeff Beck?
No, I mean what more can you say, man? He was a great guitar player, very under the radar guitar player, in my opinion, man.
Yeah.
When you mentioned the greats, you really don't hear his name up high. You hear it, but It's not really up high. But I'm guilty of not listening to any of his stuff for at least 10, 15 years. I mean, I used to have his solo stuff. I used to listen to the Jeff Beck group, but I just not have listened to him in a while. I think I'm going to definitely go back and listen to him. I mean, what can you say, man? I mean, he's a great guitar player, great loss.
Yeah, I've only heard. I only knew about him when Rod Stewart did that People Get Ready on his solo album, and then I went back and listened to him. And he's a fucking phenomenal guitar player. He doesn't get enough credit for anything, you know. Yeah. So go listen to that old Yardbird shit he did. That's fucking amazing.
There's Kate. Hi, Kate.
It's a lot. It's a loss. We've been losing a lot of guitarists lately, and shit. I hope the new youngins can learn how to play.
Right.
Yeah, much like Jerry. I'm a casual Beck fan. I like the Yardbird stuff, but it's because I like old music. he definitely smoked on that Ozzy track. I know Ozzy caught some hell for that last album and the album before, but I thought it was great, and the work he contributed was awesome. And it's definitely a loss because he is in the upper echelon of guitar players, in my opinion, even the little bit that I know about him. Great tone, great sound, great innovator.
Yeah, he really was. Al, do you want to add anything about Jeff Beck?
Yeah, like Page, Clapton, Hendrix, all those guys were household names. Jeff Beck wasn't really a big household name, but he's really the guitarist. Like all the guitar players that are worth anything cite him as an influence. I mean, even Jimi Hendrix back in the day loved Jeff Beck, and I mean, so many guitar players. I mean, Mick Mars. I mean, George Lynch. I mean, everybody's like just named him as an influence, and he's a guy that always. I've seen him live a couple of times, and he's the one guitar player out of a very few that I thought got better as time went on. Like he never stopped. He seemed like he never stopped learning. He just kept. He never stayed in one place.
Nope.
He always. Yeah, I mean, I had to scrape my jaw up off the floor when I saw him live, man. I mean, he just blew me away, man. And I was like, whereas other guitar players, as time goes on, their abilities kind of lessen and they kind of mellow out and stuff. I mean, he just kept. I thought he was just a master, and today's a pretty, it's a huge loss. He's like one of the original like English blues, electric blues guys that came out of that blues boom in the England in the 60s, and he's like one of the first ones to go because Page just turned 79, so he's a little older. Clapton is still here. He's like the first guy from that whole kind of circle to kind of go now,
Right.
I mean, so it's not going to get any better, man. I mean, all these guys are getting into their 80s now, man. So this decade is going to be, it's going to be one after the other, So, I mean, this year's starting off pretty shitty, right? So,
Shit.
as far as like deaths and but it's the norm. It's going to happen. Everybody's older, so just got to prepare for it.
Yeah, and just to add a little bit to what I was saying, like Page and Clapton, all those other older guys, they kind of got settled in their groove. Beck kept on improving. He kept on getting better and kept on coming out with newer sounds, and that's why he's a little bit different than the other guitarists. Hey, and tonight joining us is Kate from the International House of Vinyl and Vinyl Street. She has some really good I want to say auditions, but that's
auctions.
Auctions, thank you. She has some really good auctions. So check her out.
I actually won one for auctions.
He's won a couple of the waffles. You can't say raffle because you're gambling on Facebook. So we do waffles or reverse raffle.
Oh,
and Jerry's actually won two of them.
I thought that was like a joke name. I never knew that. So
yeah, no, they have to say that because Facebook's really stupid about gambling. Even for like all the animal rescue stuff I do, that they do big raffles to raise money. They flag them and they'll delete a post from like a rescue group. Yeah, it's kooky, but.
And also, I don't think Nate has met Kate. So, Kate, this is Nate.
Hi there.
Atkinson.
Hello.
How you doing?
Kate,
well.
Nate, Kate.
But everybody is now well acquainted with each other. So let's get started. 1983 was a powerful year because of MTV. A lot of different types of music came out, and they were still making complete albums at this time. So that's what we're going to touch on. We're going to do our top 10 of 1983 plus 5 honorable mentions. So we'll go the way that the screen looks. We'll go Jerry, Nate, Mark, Al, Kate, and myself. So let's get started, guys. Oh, yeah, and I just want to thank y'all. I was 30 minutes late, so I want to thank y'all for waiting for me and for cooperating with me. It means a lot to me. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're okay. My coworkers
You're
will
good.
just hate me tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry I was late. I don't know what was going on. I had to get a different mic, so. Did you do your 83 rundown?
No, because we were starting late, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Do the, I
Okay.
didn't do the baseball and Super Bowl and TV
That's
shows.
all right.
Well, the Niners didn't win in '83, so that's fine.
No, but,
Definitely
won
wasn't
next
the
year. They won
Cowboys
next year.
either.
it was the Raiders.
Oh yeah,
That was the
They
Marcus
beat the
Allen game,
Dolphins.
right? Yeah.
yeah.
But that was Marino's rookie year.
Well, the Niners knocked you guys out of the decade, so that was cool.
And the
All
Orioles
right.
won. The Orioles won the Super Bowl. No, wait, the World Series.
Cool.
This is the Orioles.
I
Cal
was like,
Ripken
wait, I
Jr.,
thought
right?
That was the Colts.
Yeah.
They weren't in it. What's going on? I was so confused for a minute.
Orioles. But I don't know Grammys and all that, but that's all right.
You don't need
Jerry,
another
what are you going to start off with? What's your number 10?
My number 10 is Robert Plant's The Principle of Moments, man. Love fucking Robert Plant. I love this album. Of course, we all know In the Mood and Big Long. In the Mood's got such beautiful ambient music that goes along with it. Such a beautiful song. And it has one of my favorite guitar solos of all time. I think the guitar player's name is Robbie Blunt, I think his name is. Not 100% sure, but got some good tunes. And Messing with the Makin's a good song. Reckless Love. I know a lot of people piss on Robert Plant solo stuff, but I actually really liked it. He wasn't trying to be Led Zeppelin to a certain extent, at least his first 3 albums he wasn't. But yeah, I enjoyed his solo stuff, and this one definitely needs to be on my list. So that's how I'm starting off.
You're right. His solo stuff was completely different from what you were going to expect that he was going to come out with.
Yeah.
Because it was only a couple of years removed from Zeppelin. And then for him to come out with a whole different vibe, a whole different setting, it was pretty impressive.
Sporting a
love
very
it.
impressive mullet at the time, too, actually.
I love the later song he did, 29 Palms. That was a
That's
good
a good
album
song.
too.
Yeah, that was a really good song, too.
Yeah.
A really good ballad, and he can sing the hell of a ballad. We all know that. Nate, what are you going to start off with?
Well, first of all, I've got to apologize, Andy, because I wasn't able to confirm until I think Sunday. And man, I went to a party and I was hanging out with this chick, and I got like major wasted. So I didn't get up till like 1 o'clock Monday afternoon, and I was so hungover that I didn't grab any of the records.
Oh, no, that's fine. I didn't grab any of mine either.
I didn't pull
And,
anything.
and I know last time I had records here, so Jerry just made me look like a dick. Thanks,
Well,
Jerry.
fuck you guys. I won't show you the rest of them.
I didn't pull mine out too, and I got almost all of these.
Yeah,
I pulled
always
2.
pull them out, but I was running late, so I decided
I got to
to
pull
put
out. I got to
stuff
pull
back
out
up and
records
just
for tomorrow to show too.
Actually, I got all these on my top 10 on vinyl.
Right? Well, see,
Yeah.
it's so do I. It's just the thing is I was so hungover Monday. Tuesday, I actually did my list at work while I was watching videos all day. And when I got home, all I wanted to do was sleep, man, because I got 4 hours of sleep Monday because I couldn't fall asleep, I couldn't fall asleep Monday night. So, but I did get my list.
that is the important part.
Now, 83. If you'd asked me in 83, this would be a completely different list. That's the fun thing about doing these when you ask me to come on, because I get to look back. And man, probably one of the greatest heavy metal albums of all time. I know Mark can't stand this guy, but man, Merciful Fate, Melissa, dark, eerie, all the chord progressions, chord changes that the band does, and even King Diamond's solo stuff. It's always just stellar metal. It's like nothing you'd ever heard, up until that point. And I just think it's a dynamite album. It's not the album that made me a King Diamond fan, but it is the album that made me a Merciful Fate fan years later.
I'm not that familiar with their. I'm very familiar with their name and who they are, but I just never really sat down to listen to them.
King's voice, man. I'm going to tell you right now, he's a take him or leave him kind of guy. Me, I love his voice. He can go down into sounding like a demon, all the way up to cracking angel skulls. I mean, he's got some range.
Yeah.
But he spends most of his time in that cracking angels range,
Yeah.
But musically, it's some of the best stuff you'll hear.
Yeah, I was actually
I'm
late
good
getting
at
into them. Didn't get into them until like the late 90s when I really started to like them. They grow on you.
With me, it was them, dude. I heard them and I just got it. I talked about it on
Some
my
of the
podcast.
Some of the best riffs.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to find it.
Some
I
of the
just
riffs you'll
saw
ever
a
hear,
couple. I saw a thing that was like King Diamond singer with Lane Stanley. It was like some random post a friend of mine made. I'll have to share it to the page. That's really cool.
Oh, that's got to be wild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
just
is.
a sweet thing about him talking to them and being cool with them. And then he looks good. He's healthy. He looks happy. So I got to post it. It's really cool.
Nice.
Hey,
Yeah.
Nate, do you have that Metallica 30th anniversary at the Fillmore? Diamond's on there with them, and so is Dave Mustaine, and
I don't have it, but I've seen it.
I could send it to you.
Do that.
Yeah, okay.
Mark, what are you gonna start off with?
I'm gonna start off I think this is kind of like the first band I had splattered on my wall from the fucking magazines back then. Remember magazines?
New Kids on the
yeah.
Block was
Wham!
not out yet.
Wow.
87.
No, I had fucking Motley Crue fucking all over my fucking wall. It's fucking
New
Shout at the
Edition was
Devil.
out, though.
Huh?
Hey, I like Bobby Brown. Get off.
I like Bobby Brown too. So fuck off. He's back.
He had a
for doing
bunch of Pointer Sisters posters. Don't let him lie to you.
I like
No, but that Don't Be Cruel
I
album
do
was a
too.
good album.
It was.
I actually had Motley Crue in that poster with Madonna in the bathing suit. I don't know.
Now
why
you're
I had
overcompensating, man.
Yeah. He's
back
going
door.
hard, ain't he?
I've never been, dude. Mr. Milli Vanilli talking there. Okay,
Hey,
thank
I love
you.
Billy Vanilli. No shame.
Yeah, of course.
No
Thank
shame.
you.
But that's
Girl,
the
you
number
know
10.
it's true.
That's my tid. Shout at the Devil, man. What a fucking great album.
Mhm.
It's like my grandpa's a pastor, and I was playing that in his car. He didn't tell me shit. So, my grandpa was cool. But that's my number 10, Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil.
Great album.
Yeah. Al, what are you gonna start off with?
All right, so I went with the criteria of what I actually like really loved that year at the time. It's not
Yeah.
like because in 1983 I was already myself. I was starting to buy my own stuff, and I wasn't relying on my older brother anymore. I was kind of discovering stuff on my own by this point. I was 11 years old, so I was really getting into music. Music had already kind of bit me, so I was, and radio back then was a big influencer too. A lot of this stuff got played on the radio. So I went with things that I actually, because in hindsight, like I could pick stuff that I love from that year that I got into like years later, but I kind of didn't really do that. I wanted to do what my mindset was in that year. So with the exception of maybe one or two releases, but I'll get that. Maybe I got into a year or two later, but my number 10 is going to be Night Ranger, Midnight Madness.
Nice.
I love that album. That's when I really discovered them, and the Sister Christian video was all over MTV, and I went out and I remember getting the tape. I had a cousin that was really a big Night Ranger fan, and he kind of let me borrow it first, and I really liked it, so I went out and I bought my own, and I still have that cassette to this day. But that's such a great album, man. I mean, the playing on it. I mean, they always get tagged as being a ballad band, by mainstream, but I mean, they're just such a ripping, dual guitar band. I just love them, and that's like one of my favorite albums from that year, and I played that a lot.
There's
So
nothing
number
wrong
10
with a good
Midnight
ballad, man.
Madness, Night Ranger.
Nothing wrong with a good ballad.
Don't Close
Yeah.
Your Eyes is a fucking amazing track too.
Great.
When I
They
close my
they
eyes.
do great ballads,
Yeah.
but they great rock and stuff too,
They have more rockers than ballads, and
Oh,
yes, they
absolutely.
do.
Yeah.
Of course.
Their last album was fucking amazing.
yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
Nothing worse than having to give
So
that
that's my
guy
10.
credit, is there?
Hey, Kay, what are you? What's your number 10?
I went with Pink Floyd's Final Cut. I was torn between this and another album, but I've actually listened to this a few more times, and I think it's a good follow-up feel to The Wall. Like when I listen to it, it feels like it just could be like an appendium to that.
Huh.
Pretty heavy duty. You can feel that like post-war Fallout vibe going on.
Yeah, really good production will do that. Put a
Yeah,
good
the-
feel of
the-
the album to you.
The title track, I think, is Roger Waters' best vocal in Pink Floyd. The final
Mhm.
cut, the song itself, great
Mhm.
vocal in that tune.
I know
Of
Jerry
course,
doesn't
Knock Out
like Pink
Dawn's great
Floyd.
tune.
Jerry hates Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I don't know. This list, it was kind of a funny list because there's like probably 5 albums on my list that I'm like, holy crap, these are all amazing, and I listen to them a lot. And then the rest of it, I was kind of like Sophie's choice in it to figure out what I wanted to do or not.
Can I?
I definitely feel like that's a really good album, and it's like such a understated Pink Floyd album for like people who don't really listen to them. You know, like they don't know it exists. So
Yeah.
Can I
it's
tell
not
you something,
really
Kate?
yeah,
Your list is probably more honest than ours. Our list is mainly nostalgia of what we were listening to back
Right.
then.
right.
So it's like I had to be honest with myself. I only put one album that I didn't listen to back then on my list. The rest are albums that I
Yeah.
actually listened to back then.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
thing, like
Yeah,
I wasn't
went with the same
alive
thing,
yet,
too.
Yeah.
but
So
this,
you're
like,
lucky you
Yeah,
get to be
because-
honest about your picks.
yeah,
I was
well, and
honest. I would
it's-
change these.
I
Yeah.
could literally, when I was looking at like, I always look at Google, like a wiki to see the whole set of everything that came out in '83, and I was like, Al will pick this, Jerry will pick this, Andy's gonna have this.
You sound like me.
Like,
Say it, Mark. Say it, Mark.
yeah,
Say it.
I like,
I'd
I know a
pick it, but I knew
handful of
somebody
stuff
else
you
would.
guys are gonna have. Yeah. Nope. I know there's a handful of stuff that I picked out right away that I was like, I know these guys are gonna have these things on theirs.
Yeah,
I
but
do
on-
like that album behind you, Kate. I love that Honey Drippers album.
See, I
Yeah.
pulled that because
That's
Jeff
good shit
Beck.
there. Yeah.
I only pulled 2 albums for this show because I was doing stuff and I was busy, but I pulled this because that's such a good Jeff Beck. I mean, that's short, but damn if there aren't some awesome songs on that. So I'm all set. Andy, what's your number 10?
My number 10, I did not go off of what was my favorite albums in 1983 because I was only 9. No, I wasn't.
Hey, I listened to freaking Foreigner at 7, so you could have a taste at that age.
That makes sense too.
Shut up.
But,
Double vision
I am
rules.
putting stuff up that, regardless of when I found these albums, they were released in '83, and I love them. And the reason why I picked this album, when this album came out, these guys were all over MTV. You could not turn on MTV without seeing Black Sabbath. Born Again.
And that cover.
Yeah, this is great. This was such a good album.
They have a lot of raffles for waffles on that. And
Yeah, that's a really popular one.
And I
With,
never win on that. I really want to win that one, but I never did.
With
love that.
I peeled
Love that.
for it.
vocals.
That's a really popular one. You'll see it pop up a lot.
So good. I'm waiting for the remastered version that Tony said he's going to put out. They
Well, and
found the
it's-
tapes.
Everything 40th anniversary, like all the stuff we're picking, is probably going to drop again
Yeah.
with a nice remastered this year. So
But
You'll
this
see it.
album-
Yeah, I already got one of them on the list. That's a great remaster. So
mhm.
But this has trash, disturbing the priest, hero to zero, digital bitch,
Digital
born again.
Bitch, I
This
love
was
that
a
song.
really good album by
Yes,
them,
it is.
and
Hey.
it's one of my. It is my favorite without Ozzy. This
Yeah.
is my favorite non-Ozzy Sabbath
Mhm.
album.
Favorite non-Ozzy? Oh,
mine is fucking
Same.
Heaven and Hell's and Mob.
Yeah,
Blues. It goes
Mine's
back
Heaven
and
and
forth.
Hell, but
Yeah,
Goes
I
back
do
and
more
forth
than
though.
I'm with you, Andy. I think Born Again
That's-
doesn't get enough damn credit.
I'm with
I think it's
I'm
like
with you too, Andy. That's
it's
my
a
favorite.
much
non-Ozzy.
better record cover than 1984 by Van Halen.
It's a better
Love
taste.
it.
this is
Hey.
another year though. Like
Double,
Ozzy
baby.
drops Bark at the Moon and stuff. Like this is another year where they're really pitted against each other because we did
Again.
that other show that Heaven and Hell in that. What Blizzard of Oz?
We did Blizzard
I mean,
of Oz in that one.
Yes, I mean that's a heavy duty 2 albums that dropped that they're fighting each other at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got to do
Yeah.
another vinyl battle, but I don't know who to pit against each other. But that's a good one.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to know at that album cover, did the creators of that movie Ghoulies get the idea for the demons for that cover? I'm just-
Right.
Maybe, yeah.
That was a weird movie.
Coming out of the toilet.
Coming out of the toilet. I remember that stupid thing.
You know what? The stupidest movie I've ever seen was called The Stuff. Okay.
That one's pretty bad.
Oh, you seen it with the
Mhm.
fucking?
We used to
yogurt
do
coming
this
out of
thing,
mouth?
we'd call it Shitty Movie Tuesday, and it was
Yeah.
never on Tuesday. That was the whole point. But we'd all get together and watch some horrible movie like Thanksgiving or
Have you seen Student Bodies?
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
You
I
should
haven't
watch-
seen that. I know
You should
that.
see Student Body. Somebody gets killed with the fucking fruit.
But this stuff, it's like it looks like
there's a-
what's the fluff that like marshmallow fluff? It's
yeah,
terrible.
coming out of the mouth. The
yeah.
stuff.
There's a documentary out there called "The 50 Worst Movies of All Time," and it's
Mhm.
streaming somewhere. And I've been checking it out. There's just so many streaming channels. I forgot what.
There's
it's
so
on,
many
but-
terrible horror movies
I
that
like
are
the-
so
Oh
bad
man,
they're
I finally
good.
watched Terrifier 2 the other day. Holy
Movie's
crap!
great.
Oh
Hey,
man,
did you guys ever watch Elvira? Elvira used to show you the shitty B movies.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
no, Terrifier 2, man. Holy shit!
I really got into like Mystery Science Theater,
Yeah.
so
I
that
like
one
that too. Yeah.
that's a lot of fun. They stopped doing that, but now they do a thing called Riff Tracks, and you can go to the theater and watch like a live pod. They do a podcast over the movie, so that's fun to do.
Well,
But
They're
Riff
doing that
Tracks-
at Rockin' Pod. They're going to do a movie screening. They're going to have Craig Gass up there and Don Jameson.
Oh man,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, me
they-
and Jerry, we didn't get
last
tickets
time
for
we
the
were-
movie, right, Jerry?
Last time we were there, they did Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Courtney Conan Dold was there.
Is that
Oh,
part
it
of
was
the
brutal. It
package?
was hilarious.
We only bought the concert and the ticket. And
The
shit.
movie's going to be separate.
Yeah, we didn't buy that.
That's
'cause
a
we're gonna,
Sunday thing.
Yeah,
We're
they
gonna
do all
get-
the special ticketed.
we're gonna
stuff.
hang out on Sunday and just get wasted.
Oh, Sunday,
right, Jerry?
Sunday I'll be going home early. Sorry.
Oh, you fucking asshole! You're supposed to be getting wasted on Sunday.
I'll get wasted with you, Mark.
Thank
There
you.
go.
But on Pluto TV, they do have a channel that is just for
Mystery
Masterpiece
Science, yeah.
3000.
They
They
do,
also have
yeah.
rough tracks. That's all they show.
Yeah.
Just watch some full moon movies, man. If you like cheesy horror, man. Piranha girl was fucking cool. Her tits became piranhas. I was like, what is
Whoa,
this?
there's a lady in the room.
Oh, I'm
What is wrong
sorry.
with you?
Lady.
Good God.
I'm just sorry. I'm just talking about the movie. They became piranha teeth and ate the guy with their boobs. And I was like, oh, this is total 80s. I loved it.
Yeah, Tubi has a whole section of full moon
Full moon
movies.
videos. Full moon's
Full Moon videos.
amazing.
Oh,
Subspecies.
Tubi does. Yeah, Tubi.
Yeah.
Tubi and Pluto are both great free streaming services.
Yeah, they are.
They're free. I mean, that's where I spend most of my time.
I watched Somebody Hell's Kitchen on freaking
Hell
Pluto.
yeah. I've seen every season like 12 times and I still watch it, man.
Oh
yes,
my
sir.
God.
Same. I just want to go into Hell's Kitchen and have Gordon call me a thick bitch or a donkey
You
or a
fucking donut.
donut.
Excuse the language.
Jerry, what's your number 9?
This album was, there's no doubt this one was probably one of the game changers on MTV. Unfortunately, it was definitely the end of the band as we know it, as we knew it back then. But still a great album. Police Synchronicity. I mean, it was all over the place, man. I mean, Wrapped Around Your Finger, Synchronicity 2, Every Breath You Take, King of Pain. I mean, great pop tunes. But unfortunately, this is probably the one that did him in, though. So, But yeah, I mean, fucking great record.
Not in my top.
Has the worst wedding song of all time.
That's
Why do these couples get married and play Every Breath You Take as their dance? I'm like,
Stalker.
you're not listening to the words, are you?
That's a really good song, but it's
Have you heard that?
It's so scary.
Have you heard those like major to minor songs that people cover? And someone did that, and it sounds like such a creeper song.
Right.
It's such a stalker song.
Huh. No, I've never
You'll
heard
have to
of
look it up. They're really interesting because it messes with your
They
brain.
do that. There's a
Major
lot
to
of YouTube
minor,
videos. There's a
and
bunch of
look up
YouTube videos.
whatever song, and that one's one that they do, and it's like, ugh.
That's funny.
And just like everything else, Puff Daddy had to go fuck it up and do that stupid song.
Hey,
Jesus Christ.
I'm not gonna lie.
He likes Puff Daddy and he likes
I
that
don't like
song.
Puff Daddy. I like that song.
Yeah, of course you do.
Besides the song he did with Jimmy Page for the
Oh
Godzilla
God,
movie.
please don't. That's an
That's
abortion.
good. No,
Stop
come
talking about that.
Yeah, I
Nate,
like that
what's-
too.
Nate, what's your number 9?
Well, my number 9. Also, I wish I could pull it out and show it. Elton John, man, Too Low for Zero.
Great record.
It's actually one of my favorite Elton John albums of all time. I mean, title track is awesome. I'm Still Standing. What a great upbeat screw you type of song. You can't bring me down kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my all-time favorite Christmas songs. It's not a Christmas song, but Cold as Christmas. Great track. Those are the 3 that off the top of my head I always know. Bam, 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 play them right to start off the album. It's a great album all the way through. It's perfect 80s synth pop. I absolutely love it.
Wasn't that like in the middle of big time Coke days?
Oh yeah, the big glasses.
Yeah.
You know, he had the kind of mid-length long hair thing going on.
Yeah.
You could tell he was definitely receding.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. He's had some work done on his head. Look at some of those. Look at some of those old 70s and early 80s pictures of Elton John. I'm like, I wish I had money because, you know.
Yeah, he's doing that with his money, and he's such Mr. Charity for great humanitarian work.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. A fantastic human being. Mark, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is one of my favorite bands of all time. It's like a band I never go without too long without listening to, especially this album. Huey Lewis and the News, Sports. That album was just like my childhood personified right there. Just
Perfect
watching
record.
those videos, along with a lot of these other videos that are these albums.
What did you pick, Mark?
Huey Lewis and the News, Sports.
Great record.
Perfect.
Fucking Bad is Bad. If This Is It, it's a fucking great fucking song with the videos.
I love it.
Bobbing in the fucking sand. Fucking Huey was a showman, and
Heart
nobody
and Soul,
fucking get
another great tune.
nobody, dude. I saw that Showtime concert where he's jumping over like David Lee Roth over the drum riser. And he could do that shit too back then. It's fucking pretty cool. I love Huey Lewis and the News, and it's sad he has tinnitus and he can't tour anymore. Because that was one of my bucket list shows. I never got to see them. They were always
You never
sold
got
out
to
back
see
in the
them?
day.
I got to see them a few years ago. They opened up for, I think they were playing with Chicago.
I thought I saw that tour too.
Yeah, it was with Chicago. And my wife put in comments that's her favorite album of '83, Sports.
Yeah, that's a great album. That's my
Great
number
album.
9.
Huey Lewis and the News. What I like about that band so much is they took MTV and did MTV right. I mean, like Motley Crue caught so much hell for their stupid Home Sweet Home video with all the guys on the different locations. I'm on my way. And I'm like, no, that's how you do MTV. And Huey Lewis and the News videos were always funny. They always had a sense of humor. They didn't take themselves too seriously.
Right.
Great, pop rock songs. Dude, that's a great album. It's on my list. It's just higher up.
Well, so many other albums though, but fucking, any of these albums in my top 10 could have been number 1. Just
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
These are really good albums. Al, what's your number 9?
I saw that Huey Lewis when the 30th anniversary of that album, he did a tour and he did the whole album 10 years ago. So that was great that I got to see him. And it's kind of bummed that he can't tour anymore, really. But I'm glad I got to see him. So anyway, my number 9 was Andy's number 10, Black Sabbath, Born Again. I got to credit my longtime childhood friend Brian. He had a cassette of that, and I saw the Demon Baby on the cover. I'm like, holy shit, man, Sabbath! What the hell? What album is this, man? He's like, check it out. And I was like, it's got Ian Gillan singing, and I was like, damn, Ian sounds like friggin' evil on this album, man.
Yeah.
And his screams are like out of this world, and I thought it was like one of the evilest Sabbath albums, actually. So, and that is my favorite non-Ozzy album as well.
Yes.
I'm with you on that one, man.
Hey, man, it's a great album. Don't get me
That's
wrong.
gonna be my number 9.
Yeah,
Love it. And I'm curious to hear the remix that Tony's gonna do. I mean, the muddy production on it kind of gives it its charm, gives it its darkness, its murkiness. I mean, I'll be interested to hear what a remix version will sound like, but I don't know if it's gonna kind of overtake I don't know which. It probably won't overtake the original version as my go-to copy, but anyway, that's my number 9. So.
Oh yeah, because this album sounds
Sabbath,
like it was
Born Again.
recorded in a far out corner in the middle of hell. That's what it
There's a lot.
sounds like.
It's a lot of reverb on that album. It's a lot of it's the mix is like it's not perfect, but I don't know. It adds to the charm. Kind of like what I guess Kiss Hotter Than Hell kind of adds to the charm of it, and it makes it seem darker. Like the album. So I don't know. We'll see what the remix does. So
Yeah, let's see how that is. Kate, what's your number 9?
Mine is Sports.
Nice.
I mean, that's just like a soup to nuts, great album through and through. And then I feel like there's probably 50 albums I can name that I feel like every record collection needs. And this is definitely on the list. It's
Yeah.
quintessential record collector album to own. So that's it. Sports.
My number 9 is going
Yeah.
to be
That's an awesome
a
top to
band that
bottom.
I did listen to at this
album.
time, and it's going to be John Cougar Mellencamp.
Good album.
This is fantastic. This is everything pretty much. Crumbling Down, Pink Houses, the Authority song, Jackie O. Stop
Play
that
guitar.
bullshit and play guitar.
I knew you'd pick that, Andy.
Really?
Boy,
Yeah,
here
I
we go.
kind of thought you would pick that because you're a
Here
Neil
we
Young.
go.
You're a Neil Young
Ding,
fan.
ding.
Come on, you gotta like John Mellencamp.
Well,
I
do
can't
not-
stand
never
Neil Young. I love
mentioned-
Mellencamp.
I've never really mentioned him, but wow, good call. But yeah, that's my number 9 is John Mellencamp. What about you, Jerry? What's your number 8?
Nate mentioned it earlier. Night Ranger, Midnight Madness. Fucking great album, dude. Fucking Jeff Watson rules. I know everybody loves Brad Gillis, but Jeff Watson, man, is a fucking phenomenal.
No.
guitar player.
I love fucking Jack Blades.
Well, yeah, man, this song is just
I'm
full
a
of-
Jack Blades nut swinger.
I mean, you mentioned Sister Christian, what a hit that was, but you can still rock in America. When You Close Your Eyes, Touch of Madness, Let 'Em Run, a great ballad at the end of the album, man. Just it's I think it's a bad song on this album actually.
I miss him in that band.
But yeah, this is my number 8.
Dude, I saw them just before COVID in January of 2020, dude. And they played that album in its entirety and Dawn Patrol.
Yeah.
And then
sweet.
they ended with Goodbye. That was pretty cool. I loved it. And I just got tickets for them in March after I come back from Rocket Pod. March 23rd, Night Ranger.
Isn't Night Ranger also touring
No.
with Bret Michaels during the
Yeah, I
summer?
don't give about that. I don't want to see
I miss
fucking Mark
Watson.
McGrath.
Hey, you want to see Bret Michaels? He's going to put on a show.
I
It's
don't
gonna
want to
be
see
fun.
Mark McGrath.
Mark McGrath.
Mark
Is he
McGrath.
Sugar Ray's going to be there.
Right.
Remember when they were like a metal band?
Yeah.
Yeah, they start off as this metal outfit. Then after that, they got very.
It was like, what happened?
I don't care because they brought Super Cat out to the world, and I'm a big Super Cat fan because I like reggae, and people don't know that kind of reggae. All they know is that Bob Marley, this is what we play on the cruise ship reggae.
I like Peter Tosh.
And Super Cat will just blow your mind. And when I saw him in that video for Fly, I was like, that's not Super. Is that Super? And I'm listening. I was like, that's fucking Super Cat. So I got a soft spot for Sugar Ray just for that.
Mm.
Yeah, but they got like a total scab Jefferson starship. Mickey Thomas has his own Jefferson starship. That's not them. I'd rather see the Mickey Thomas version and not a whole scab version. At least he was in the band when they were Jefferson
Yeah.
starship. So made their best albums with them, in my opinion.
So we're at number 8. What's your number 8, Bushy?
Well, this one, well, people that have listened.
No, right?
No, Jerry went.
Yeah, he did.
Jerry went.
Yeah.
Night
I got
Ranger.
Night Ranger.
Night Ranger, yeah.
I think Al's frozen, but
This one, if people have listened to my radio show, they know I like this band. But I don't think it's anything I've ever put on my podcast in any way. But man, this album, and I haven't heard anything since except maybe on the Crow soundtrack. But man, the Violent Femmes in that debut album.
Oh,
I know you like the Violent Femmes. Violent
Come
Femmes rule.
on, dude. I mean, Add It Up, Blister in the Sun. And that whole acoustic thing, I did not think I would dig on that at all. Maybe it's because I grew up on so much country and southern rock that it just made sense to me. But there was a lot of angst involved. There was a lot of punk involved. And when I got into the Femmes, it was not in 1983. It was 1987 because I was getting into stuff like Depeche Mode and The Cure.
Good
And
shit.
the Femmes, for whatever reason, even though they sound nothing like those bands, just kind of fit into that mix. And I've loved this album forever. I've like double shot closed my radio show with these guys before.
Yep.
Great album, Violent Femmes. Definitely worthy of a top 10 from 1983.
Good show, by the way, Nate. Enjoyed your show.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad you did, man. I used to mix it up a lot more, but the weekend crowd likes
I didn't
more
hear any
rock and
Debbie-
metal.
I didn't hear any Debbie Gibson or Milli Vanilli. I heard some great ass metal. Is what I heard.
Yeah, the weekend crowd likes their hard rock and heavy metal. During the week, I could get away with a lot more.
Al's back.
Yep.
All right.
I don't know. It sounds like
Sounds like crickety crackety
how's it sound?
popcorn. Sounds
Al,
like
you want to go
popcorn.
back in? Come back.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You sound like popcorn.
Hold on.
Do you know how to reset your router?
Okay, well,
Oh,
it's my turn
Leon.
anyways, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. I know a lot of people shit on this band. I know a lot of people shit on the keyboard player, but fuck, these videos were all over fucking MTV.
Oh shit! Yeah, I know.
You could not get away from this band at fucking all. They made cheesy fucking videos in front of a warehouse. They fucking made fucking, but fucking this album rules. They could have fucking put Only the Lonely on it instead of fucking Rubicon. But fucking
Fucking album rules, man.
Journey Frontiers, dude.
Yep.
Fucking amazing fucking album. And I don't care. You guys all hate Jonathan Cain. I like him and I like Raleigh too. And I'm happy they're both going to go on tour together. So that's my
I
number.
don't hate the music that he contributed to Journey. I just don't like him.
I hope they fight like Don and George Lynch did when I saw them live on the back of the Attack tour.
Yeah,
That'd be
me
funny.
too. That's all. Me too.
It's like Jonathan pushes fucking Neil away. I'm just getting time here. Anybody else want to talk? Because we're waiting for Al to come back.
I won't know. We'll go to Kate, and Al will be here in a minute.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Go
my
ahead,
number 8. Number 8, I went with Big Country, The Crossing. I only pulled 2 albums, so Big Country. I love that title track in A Big Country.
That's the only song I know from, but it's a good song. So.
Underrated album. You only know the one song. If you know 80s music, you know the one song. And the rest of the album's good too. So I feel like people need to check it out. It's like, I don't know. It has such a good vibe to it. And there's a lot of other stuff going on, you know. I don't know. I just dig it. It was one that popped up that I saw was that year, and I was like, oh, hell yeah. So
See, the thing is, you weren't born, and watching that on MTV at that time, that video was everywhere.
everywhere.
It was like, stop. It was like, come on, Eileen, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Well, and you
So I
gotta
don't
think like MTV debuts, and there's just how many music videos are out at the time.
I know.
Yeah, but was it
So they.
Kate's now?
What'd you say,
now.
Andy?
Oh well, were they like Americana music?
Kind
Is
of.
that
They're
what you
from the EU, which I always thought they were from Australia, but they're not. But that one, like in a big
Thought they're
country,
from
always
Canada.
have this like.
I thought they were Irish.
I thought they were Canadian.
I thought they were American.
All right, we'll have to Google it because I thought they were from somewhere in the EU.
I thought they were Canada. Let me see.
I'm looking on my record. My record's New York. I gotta Google it. I don't know. I thought they were from like not Wales, but I don't know. I had it in my head that they were from like Great Britain.
But they sound kind of a.
They were in Dovermore, Fife. Where's that at? United
That's
Kingdom.
UK.
You're right. You're
That's
right.
the
Yeah,
UK. They're
okay.
Scottish.
For some reason, I thought they were freaking Canadian.
I don't know. Yeah, I just had it in my mind because I feel like I Googled it once where I thought they were Australian because that. I don't know. The way that song sounds just makes me think of like driving through the outback.
Or like Crowded House kind of feel.
Yeah, I don't know.
Crowded
but-
House rules.
Yeah, UK. All right, yeah, that makes sense.
They're
I did
Scottish.
Oh,
that
no.
away from people. Everybody only knows the one hit if they know anything by them.
I heard the second album too. I didn't like it either.
Yeah.
I'll check it out though, Kate. Thank you so much. I will check that out.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's worth a check out.
Yeah, Al, what's your number 8?
Yes, 90125.
Oh,
So that's when really Yes came on my radar as a young kid. They blew up. MTV was playing them all over the place. I never knew they had a history before that album, really,
Yeah.
until I really looked into it. But that album was like It was all over the radio. It was all over MTV, and kind of helped me get into like progressive rock too. You know, it's kind of my gateway into prog. You know,
Rush.
besides Rush, Yes was kind of like the next band. Really, kind of them and Genesis really kind of expanded me into like progressive music more. So, but great album, man. I mean, again, I listened to that a lot in '83 when I was a kid. So, so yes, 90125. I always say 90210.
I try to say that. I try to.
See, I wish I could get into progressive music. I just cannot.
Well, you know, the yes of that era,
more-
it's more poppy. Owner of a Lonely
Yeah,
Heart.
it's more poppy.
It's
Yeah,
more pop.
but it had-
Different, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
more
rock.
pop. It's pop progressive, and Trevor Rabin's a fucking genius. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Uber.
I enjoy the older Yes.
It's pop with progressive leanings to it. You know,
Yeah.
it had
It's
some-
short.
it had
It's not
certain
21-minute
songs on there that was-
songs.
Yeah, but it had
Yeah.
songs on there that were still, you know, pretty progressive as well. You know, if you went deep into the album,
City
You
of
know.
Love.
yeah. So
And in fact, we did hit that album when we did a battle vinyl with that album against Asia.
And that one and one.
Yeah, that the album did win.
I love Asia though.
Yeah, me too. One great thing about having these albums in alphabetical and in chronological order, I can pull things out while I'm talking. Number 8 was this album. I watched this video endlessly. I watched these guys' videos endlessly. Saw them live a couple of times. ZZ Top's Eliminator.
A good
And
one.
everybody wanted that car. Everybody
Yeah.
wanted that
I wanted
car
the girl.
that
I wanted the blonde.
day.
I wanted the blonde.
They
I wanted the homely blonde that turned into a hot chick. I'm sorry, Kate. I'm just saying, as a
Are you calling me homely?
no, I'm
Mark,
saying
what?
I'm talking
Mark,
about-
what the hell is your problem tonight?
I'm talking about. I'm saying I'm sorry. I said hot chick. Just in
Hot
case.
chick. Oh, I don't
Yeah,
give a shit.
as a
dude.
13-year-old kid, I was like going, I love blondes, and I was
Yeah.
like, God dang.
He opened the door and like 10 of
opened
them
the door.
would pop out. You're like, how did they come out of there? But yeah,
But I-
A
that's a-
13-year-old
that's a-
boy, he has a sexual awakening.
Yeah,
this
kind of.
has
That's a
this
good
has-
choice, Andy. That's a good pick.
Yeah,
Well, that one and Samantha Fox.
This one, give me all. This one
Mark-
has "Give Me All Your Lovin'." Got me under pressure. When I got older, I was listening to more ZZ Top. I was kind of surprised of that "Got Me Under Pressure" was on this album. It sounds like it would be in an earlier ZZ Top albums because it's got that kind of earlier vibe. But Sharp Dressed Man, I got the 6 Legs. This was just a great album.
That one's like hit after hit. All
really
those
was.
songs are still on all the time.
Yeah.
I saw them in the summer. They played every song that you just mentioned, you know.
And I like it better now because they have drums.
It was like
They
pop.
are.
It was like pop ZZ Top, and nobody gave.
Yeah, they
you know?
like what Ian
It's
Wally
so- it was
calls
so
it,
good
Johnny
stuff.
Johnny 5 on drums.
But it was still awesome. You know.
Yeah, but they are touring this summer as well, and I want to go check that out.
Yeah, that
And I
new
think
bass
they're
player
kind of
looks
this-
pretty wild.
He was
Yeah.
really good. I
He
was
looks really-
I was happy with him.
They grew
was
his,
really good.
They said he came back and he grew his beard out, and they go,
He
what?
did.
And they go,
He had this
wa-
big beard and he
he
had
was
like
shaved before, yeah.
he had a hat on that looked like gray spiky hair, but it was like a weird hat with a visor. It's like
Dude, he
He's
had
opening-
some. He had some like 30-string bass he was playing on. stage.
he had
Yeah,
I
I
think
saw
the
that.
one that they pulled out when I was there, I think it was like a 12-string bass, and like the bottom of the neck hitting the body is like
Dang.
it was crazy.
So
But
he
they
hasn't-
were good.
Has he sung a Dusty song yet? Because Billy said he's going to sing it one day.
Yeah, but Dusty Hill did give his blessings for.
Yeah, but he hasn't
because-
sung a Dusty song yet because he doesn't
No.
want to right now. But
It was still a little early. Maybe
Yeah.
on this tour, after they get some more miles under him, maybe that'll happen. Jerry, what's your number 7?
Mark mentioned this one earlier. It was not all over my wall though, but still a great record, man. I mean, this is Motley Crue, in my opinion, at their peak.
I like
Anything
that.
after that, there was some good stuff after that, but not as good as their first 2 albums. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, F you, Dr. Feelgood rules," or "Girls,
girls.
rules." No.
Girls,
This
girls,
is definitely
girls
their-
rules.
There's good
Except for
songs
Miller.
on random albums in the future, but
Yeah, but
this is
for a
the best
complete
by far.
album.
I'm a little offended you guys are putting Motley Crue so low in the mix. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yep.
Bushy, what's your number 7?
Oh man. My number 7, the first time I heard this guy, I was blown what they call the fuck away, dude. This guy had all the soul of every black blues man I ever listened to. White as hell with some Texas charm, man.
I knew you were talking
Stevie Ray Vaughan, Texas Flood, come on. Love Struck Baby, Pride and Joy, title track, Tell Me, Testify. Dude, Mary Had a Little Lamb, not a hit, but a staple. A staple of Stevie Ray Vaughan shows. Absolutely amazing. Take it away. Way too young. I mean, this is a guy that you could buy the DVD of his was it Austin City Limits performances.
Uh-huh.
And the first set, man, he's so blasted out of his mind on coke. He's sweating, can't even open his eyes. It still just destroys the place. Then the next set, he's all clean and sober. This is the guy that put a teaspoon of cocaine in his coffee to get himself going in the morning.
about. Shit.
And he beats all that. He's like the greatest guitar player in the world. To die in a damn helicopter crash, dude. It makes me so angry because the heights he could have reached.
No shit. You're right. Yep.
But he was in the height of his career.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with Randy Rhoads, man.
Yeah, Randy would have been great, but he wasn't pouring cocaine in his coffee just to get himself going. I'm just
That's
saying.
true.
You know, Stevie Ray Vaughan overcame a lot of demons. And even while he had the demons, he was just an absolute beast. And yeah, man. I don't think Stevie Ray Vaughan ever did a bad track anyway. Everything had something. Even that posthumous release, you know, Life by the Drop, that acoustic thing we heard after he died on the Sky is Crying, which is my all-time favorite Stevie Ray Vaughan album. God, one of the greatest guitar players all time.
Yeah,
He
he's
was. And he wasn't just a great guitar player. He was also a really good songwriter. He was the front man. He showed his emotion through his voice. He was the whole total package.
Oh yeah.
That's
David-
why there's a statue of him at the state capitol here in Austin.
David Bowie Let's
awesome.
Dance album, dude. David Bowie wanted to be his regular guitarist. He said, "No, I got my own thing coming out,"
Yeah.
and that was it right there.
Yep.
Like
What's your
amazing
number
album.
7?
The sad thing is, I didn't get into Stevie Ray Vaughan in 1983, so I can't really bring him up. But I agree with you, Bushy. That is one of the greatest albums of all time, right there.
Yeah, it's a
Like
great
he
pick, man.
rules.
Yeah.
I had to go what Al said earlier. Yes, 90125. Look, that album could be number 1. But the only reason why my number 1 is my number 1 because it got me into, like, and it was my drug. Like Kiss was most of you guys' drugs for hard rock. Even though I wasn't a foreigner earlier, but this was my true fucking segue, my number 1. But it's fucking
Yeah,
90215.
All right, bye, Mark. We don't need you anymore.
Or whatever. But 90125, man, fucking out. We've already talked about this album. Fucking great album. My number 7.
I know what your number 1 is, Mark.
Yeah, we all do. We gave it away. He can leave. We're done.
Wait, what's your number 7?
My number 7, I'm not going to speak of it as well as Bushy did, so I'll leave it to him, but I have Stevie Ray Vaughan's Double Trouble, Texas Flood.
Yes.
I mean, it's just such a phenomenal album through and through. And then to have someone like that, like someone so young, be so soulful and phenomenal at guitar. And, you know, we have a handful of young guys that are all like blow you away guitar players and they check out way too soon. That seems to happen a lot, but that's just having that kind of ability to go into a flow state and just tear shit apart just is amazing to me. So that's Stevie could do it.
Yep,
Just
he really
amazing.
could.
Man.
And there's so many guitar players that are badasses and just play badass, but Stevie stayed within the song.
Yeah.
And
I don't feel like
out of it.
he wasn't getting full of himself kind of thing, because there's some that are like, yeah, I know I'm the shit, and
Yeah, I
you
can go,
see that and I don't like that.
Yeah,
Because
he
that's the
stayed
other
within
guy
the
that I've
realm.
gotten into a lot in the last like 6 years is Kingfish. And that's another guy that, like, the first time I saw him, he was like 19 and
The heavy
yeah,
that dude,
Kingfish
right?
Ingram.
Oh, that
If he
dude
comes
is
to your town,
amazing.
man, I've seen him 3 times. Every time I'm like on the edge of my seat, like
I've
he's
been
just
watching that kid
amazing.
on YouTube since he was like 9 or 12 or
He's
something.
like
Man. He was young.
14 or 15 opening for BB King. I mean, it's just one of those dudes that he is phenomenal. He has that in him where he has that soulfulness and talent, and just
blues,
when he
man.
flow states, you can see it where he's like just in the friggin' stratosphere playing. He's
And it's
amazing.
so crazy that someone so young can play like that. It's like a God-given
it's
gift.
Gary Clark Jr. was like that too.
Yeah, Gary
Yeah.
Clark's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, you know, that's Hendrix. Like, I always talk about Hendrix as my favorite guitarist, and that's Hendrix is another one that he's like super young, just blows people's minds, you know.
Yeah.
But Gary Clark too, he's great. I mean, that's somebody, I saw him at Austin City Limits, and him live is like, you just have to like pinch yourself. One of these guys seeing, like, I never got to see Stevie. He was gone when I was just a little kid, but seeing these guys live and doing their thing and being in their elements, like, you have to pinch yourself. Like, is this real life? Like, you know,
I hear
it's
you.
just amazing.
I would have killed.
Could you imagine?
To see Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I can't even imagine being at one of those shows. There's probably like the audience when a song is going on. That's like seeing Kingfish. Like when a song is going and he's in his flow state, you could hear a pin drop if like the sound dumped out. Like people are just tuned in, and then as soon as they're done, the whole audience like explodes. It's just such a amazing thing that going to live shows and having that communal feeling and that vibe throughout a whole crowd, and everyone there is like a huge music nerd. Nobody's there because they're just checking him out. Like that's people who are all super big guitar nerds and stuff are there. So it's just such a thing to experience. I can't even imagine seeing Stevie live would have been.
Yeah. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
That clip from Austin City Limits where, you know, the string breaks and he doesn't even break a sweat. He
doesn't even like flinch or have any reaction. He's just like, whoop, okay.
Like, no, I'm just going to move on up the neck. I know my instrument. I know it well. I know where I've got to be.
My brain would have like short circuited if it was me having anything go wrong on stage.
I know. I'm like, oh, what the hell do I do?
Yeah.
To stay on the blues thing real quick, have you ever listened to Joanna Connor? Kate, check.
Maybe on like a stream. I like to do like the, you know, turn on like Spotify radio or whatever, blues radio, and you just listen to a ton of stuff. So, but Joanna Connor,
check her
out. I'll write
it
down.
She's brutal. She sings. She plays Les Paul, which is abnormal in the blues world. What was Gary Moore like the only other one that ever did that? Because most
Gary
guys,
Moore is another one who's killer.
If they're playing just straight blues, they tend to play a Strat. Joanna Connor plays a Les Paul. She slings that son of a gun low, and she's a wicked slide guitar player. Great soulful voice. Check her out. You might enjoy her.
I might know her and just not know the name, but I like stuff like that. That's today at work. I was jamming a blues channel, and everybody's like, "What the hell are you listening to?" I'm like, it's a blues radio station. Like, whatever, guys. People are lame.
I'm sorry, Andy. I'll talk about the blues for the next 45 minutes, man. You better cut me off.
But my uncle, he brings this up a lot because he saw Stevie Ray Vaughan play here in Houston. He opened up for the Who at the Astrodome.
Wow.
How could you follow him?
And my uncle said that he blew the Who off the stage.
I bet.
That's like how could you follow that?
Yeah.
That's like what Jerry Lee opening for Little Richard, that thing. Like, how are you gonna follow him?
Yeah,
it's just
I was one of the lucky ones that got to see Stevie open for Robert Plant in 1988 on the Now and Zen tour, and it's
it would have been ridiculous.
Robert Plant held his own, but it was tough to follow him. But seeing Stevie live was a religious experience, man, to say the least. So,
I always say they're taking you to church.
Hearing him on the damn needle, man, is a religious experience. I couldn't imagine being there.
Yeah.
I just got an idea for a show, Jerry.
What's your number 7?
My number 7 is going to be The Police, Synchronicity. That album I played a lot. The Police was one of my favorite bands during that era when I was a kid, and yeah, that album was just, it was like, I wouldn't say it's a perfect album because Mother, it kind of taints it a little bit for me, but
That's why it's
you know,
not in my top 10.
it's an Andy Summers song, so it's a little quirky, but yeah, that album Synchronicity was like them at their zenith. I mean, not to compare, but kind of compare. But I mean, they were almost kind of like the Beatles, man. It's like, where do we go from here? Just break up. That's it. We've reached the top. There's nowhere else to go. So let's just go.
And they reached it pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, it was 5 years and they were done, really.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So from the first album to, I mean, think about like that. 5 years is like a blink of an eye nowadays, but think about like back then, it seemed like 5 years took a while. You know what I mean? So when you were young and you're a kid, you know, you're such a hurry.
Didn't you guys go to that reunion tour they did?
I didn't go.
I heard it was
No.
terrible.
I heard
What's
my
that?
friend went and said it was bad.
Yeah.
What's that?
That shocked me when I heard that. Oh, really? Wow.
Did you go to the he had asked if any of us had gone to the Reunion Police tour.
I did. I saw the reunion tour.
How
I
was
saw
it?
it at Giant State. I saw it at Giant Stadium. I mean, I never saw them in their heyday, so it was a thrill for me. They did disappoint me on a couple of things where, like, like when they played Synchronicity 2, which is like a fast, upbeat song, then they went into like the chorus and they kind of like, they laid back on like the tempo on it, and it kind of became like more of a Sting kind of like adult contemporary kind of thing, and I was like,
Oh,
"Ah,
Ew.
shit, what are you doing, man?"
That's my favorite
You know?
Police song.
Yeah, Synchronicity 2 is my favorite, one of my favorite songs. I'm like,
It is mine
you know,
too.
it's such a hard driving song, you know. It's like, you know, what are you doing, you know? But other than that, like, it was a cool seeing them, you know. So I enjoyed it. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, my number 7. We had moved into this house in 2011, and I was doing some painting, and I was listening to this album while I was painting. I spelled paint on the cover, and then when I went to go flip the album, I got my thumbprints full of paint on the album as well, but it still plays through. And this is my number 7, "Kill 'Em All" by Metallica.
Nice.
You can see the paint
Yeah.
on top, and then there's a little bit of paint in the back as well. And if I pull out the album, you'll see paint on my fingerprint on it, but it still plays good. But this is my number 7. I know that's a little low, but I enjoy my Metallica a little bit more after this album. But this had to be on there because
As long as it's on the list, man.
because I'm a big Metallica fan, and this belongs on the list. It just
What's
couldn't
sad
happen.
is that I wasn't listening to that back then, so I couldn't pick it. I had to pick stuff I was into back then. There's only one album on here. Oh wait,
Nobody
wait a
cares about your Smurf soundtrack, Mark.
I wouldn't be talking. You love fucking the Muppets, fucking John Denver album.
He was
Hey,
waiting
Whoa,
for
whoa,
Fraggle
slow
Rock.
down. Greatest
The Muppets?
Christmas album ever.
That was awesome.
I know, but I gotta say, he called me the Smurfs. Fucking Nate loves the Smurfs.
And the magic flute. Jerry, what's your number 6?
Again, another game changer in the world of metal. This album
Ooh,
fucking
yeah.
rules, dude. I mean, this is MTV and everywhere on MTV, everywhere on the radio. Fucking great album. Kevin DeBro, one of the best rock singers in the history of music, in my opinion. And what a great
Voice is
band,
so
man.
strong.
Fucking
Yeah.
Carlos Cavazo, Rudy Sarzo, Frankie. Great fucking band, dude.
Oh, yeah.
What's this, number 7?
6.
6.
6.
Okay.
6
Yeah,
put
this
metal
one-
on the map. That one did.
Definitely. Good
Yeah.
album.
Very, very good album. And that was the first metal album to hit number 1.
Hit number 1, yeah.
Yeah,
the
back
first
then
one.
I didn't like
And
it,
ironic-
so that's why I didn't pick it.
And ironically,
Very good album.
it knocked Synchronicity off the top of the charts.
It
There's a
did
song in
its
it-
job.
There's a song in there called Thunderbird, man. It's a fucking beautiful tune, man. I guess I read it about Randy Rhoads. Beautiful
Yeah.
song, man.
Love
Yeah.
Thunderbird.
Yeah, Yeah, it makes you wonder what could have happened if they would have if Randy Rhoads was stuck with Quiet Riot.
Nothing. I don't know.
Wow.
Nothing.
Randy got famous from Ozzy. It's
Well, yeah, of course, but what if
Quiet
he was-
Riot had that one. They had that one big hit, and then after that album, they were like gone. Really, Condition Critical wasn't that big.
No.
Now, granted, Quiet Riot, it was part of their career to Slade, but they're still fucking pretty good at band.
Yeah, but
I like Condition Critical and I like QR3, but I'm saying it wasn't that. I bought those when they came out, and it wasn't that popular back then.
right.
It's
but I'm
like
just
nothing
saying-
was like Metal Health. I liked it after that. I liked them after that album.
Oh wow, because
I
think that's the best
like that
album.
album now, but I got into them on the freaking "Mama We're All Crazy Now" video.
Yeah.
That was Condition Critical, and then I went back and listened to that stuff more. So
Nate, what's your number 6?
I'm still trying to listen to the utter nonsense I just heard come out of Mark's mouth.
I'm going by timeline here, bitch. So shut up.
Oh God, even I knew Quiet Riot in '83, and I was only 8
I knew who
years
they
old.
were. I watched the videos. I didn't get the tape till after Condition Critical, so I didn't know the whole album. I didn't listen to it in '83. I didn't say.
Fucking
I
silly.
love that album now, but in '83, I just watched the videos and I didn't get the tape.
Oh golly. Number 6. I a lot of people got into this guy with White Wedding. Rebel Yell for me, man. Catch My Fall, for whatever reason, that song struck a chord with me when I was real young. It was on a compilation album I had bought in Heidelberg, Germany. It was called Das International Doppel-Album is what it was called. And it just had a bunch of different pop songs on it. It got me into like Midge Ure. It got me into like Go West, Sandra, CC Catch, things like this that a lot of people in the States don't even know.
Yeah.
But man, Catch My Fall really grabbed my attention. My dad had Rebel Yell, and it's just an absolute banger if you ask me. I mean, that title track is just a blast. I love daytime drama. Eyes Without a Face. I think it's kind of one of those underrated songs, man.
Love
It's
that song.
great,
song.
it's
Yeah,
ballady.
video.
It's
It's a great
great.
song.
If
Steve
Flesh for
Stevens, man.
Fantasy is one of my all-time favorite,
Do you think
Idol
Billy
jams.
could have done it without Steve Stevens though?
No.
Steve Stevens
Steve
added
Stevens
a lot
rules,
to that.
man.
Oh well, yeah, of course. I mean, that was a band.
Yeah,
Billy Idol was a band. Yeah.
it was great stuff. I like the punk attitude, but with the pop sound, it really worked for me. It's probably why why I like the Offspring today.
I love the Offspring.
But
I
Billy
hate the
Idol has
Offspring
said-
today.
The old stuff. Okay.
No, I'm playing. No, it's a great record, and I like most of Billy Idol stuff. He's
Yeah.
one of those. Everybody says, "What's your what's the word? Your when you don't want to say you like it, but you like
a
it."
guilty pleasure.
Yeah, the guilty
pleasure,
pleasure.
yeah.
Billy
I-
Idol's kind of a guilty pleasure for me, and I'm not guilty about anything I like. I openly
Yeah.
admit I like Milli Vanilli and like
What the hell?
Vanilla Ice.
You
I
shouldn't
don't
be
care.
guilty about anything. You just say, I like it, I like it, I like it.
But
You
but
don't
if you're
say
going to
guilty.
say there's a guilty pleasure out there, like Billy Idol does no wrong in my eyes. He seems like he'd be a great dude to party with and would fight with you.
The Wedding Singer.
Just ask Adam. Yeah, ask Adam Sandler. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
Wedding Singer.
That's a really good movie. I
It's
like
one of my
that.
favorite Adam Sandler movies. Next
Yeah,
one
we
was
just watched
Horrible
it last week.
Going Overboard. If you want to see a bad movie, watch Going Overboard.
Well, you want to watch a bad movie, watch Shaq and Jill.
Oh, that was
Oh
awful.
my
Oh.
god! Oh, hard to even get
Nothing
through.
but top Happy Gilmore though. Sorry, that's his best, man.
I like Billy Madison better.
That was good too. But
Going
Happy
Overboard
Gilmore
was before both of them, and it's
Yeah,
horrible.
It was.
Yeah.
It's horrible, and I love it. But yeah,
And
Billy
Mark-
Idol, Rebel Yell, Stone Cold
Good
classic.
one.
Yep.
Mark, what's your number 6?
Well, like I was trying to say about this album, I didn't listen to. I watched Billy Idol videos. They were all over MTV. I like Billy Idol, but the thing is, as what 12, 13-year-old kid when this stuff was coming out, do I have a job? I stole as much as I could from Columbia House, but I couldn't get every tape. So
Am I the only person in the world that actually paid the whole thing off?
I think so,
I swear.
Jared.
What a loser, dude.
and I did BMG at the same time, but I couldn't
Columbia
get
has
everything.
BMG. I had like 20 different accounts bringing.
I did too. up to what 1995.
We wonder why those guys are out of business today.
But yeah, I love Billy Idol Rebel Yell, and I liked it about 2 years later after that when I could buy it. So I didn't have it, so I loved it just like that other thing. But my thing I did steal from Music Plus, Depeche Mode, Construction Time Again.
I swear to God, people, we're not all criminals here.
Oh, dude,
I
that was
paid
huge.
for mine. Swear.
I paid for a lot of tapes. I go into Music Plus and buy one tape for $5.99, and I would steal 10.
Okay, maybe Mark's a criminal. What was it? What was that number 6 again? I didn't hear.
Depeche Mode, Construction Time Again, with Love in Itself, and fucking great fucking album. I love Depeche Mode. I think that was their second album, and the guy already left and went and formed Erasure, or Yaz, I think.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. One of
They
them-
formed Erasure, really? Oh.
No, the guy formed Yaz first,
Yeah,
and then
Vince
he formed
Clarke.
Erasure. Vince
I'm
Clarke.
sorry, I
yeah.
tried hard as heck to get into that.
Vince
No,
Clarke
I
was
could
on
not-
Speak and Spell, the
not
first
get into
album.
those guys.
Oh fuck, I love Depeche Mode, man. That's my number 6. Construction Time Again.
Kate, what's your number 6?
So mine's pretty weird. It's actually an orchestrated piece, but it's specifically the Berlin Philharmonic doing Gustav Holst The Planets. Pretty obscure. I don't know if we can count orchestra stuff. What do you guys feel?
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
down with that. Yeah.
I mean, it's
You
like
know, hey, Kate, you know that what you just mentioned right there, that orchestration, was it Planets?
planets.
That was
Mhm.
the inspiration for, I remember watching an interview with Geezer Butler of Black Sabbath. That riff and that, there's like a part in that song that kind of resembles the riff in Black Sabbath. And that was like kind of, Geezer was playing that one day on the bass, and I think Tony took it and kind of revamped it a little more. And he said that
Put it
he
in.
got the inspiration from that song.
No way. Do you know which planet?
Yeah.
Did they say which planet they did?
I think Mars, I think.
Mars. Yeah, that's what I would guess. That
I think that
one's
was
like
the
the
one.
heavier duty sounding one. But this,
Yeah.
this is one of my most favorite orchestrated pieces of all time. It was written in, they say, between 1914 and 1917, but this thing holds up, man. And this
Yeah.
Berlin Philharmonic doing it is pretty incredible. Like, it's the title's in German, so Berlinger Philharmonic something. But that just, like, it's such a killer tune. It's such a killer orchestrated piece. And then to hear where they're going planet by planet, and you
Yeah.
can hear the like wind or whatever would be on that planet. Like Mars is all this like really heavy duty, like fire and brimstone kind of feel to it. You'd
Yeah.
have to listen to it all, but it's damn good. And I haven't shouted out any orchestral stuff yet, so there's I gotta put this on there because it's just literally one of my favorite pieces of music ever. And then to have it, it's like, oh well, this really good version of it that I've listened to a bunch of times is from 1983, so it's on there. I count it.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
You got to check that out. But I love that. That's a good fun fact, Al. You're full of these good factoids, and that, like, I don't know. I'll have to listen to it again. Mars. And what song did you think it was inspiring?
Oh, with Black Sabbath, the song Black Sabbath.
The
riff,
song. Okay, cool.
the
Yeah.
riff,
For Black
the-
Sabbath.
The tritone riff,
Mhm.
that came. Geezer got he heard that
Mhm.
classical piece, and he played it on bass, and I think showed it to Tony, and
Mm-hmm.
then Tony kind of arranged the notes a little bit differently, but it's got
Yeah.
the same vibe.
Tony could do anything. Like, he's so good at figuring out stuff like that and noodling around and getting it right. Because that's just like, there's a lot of old orchestral stuff that would be heavy metal. If a metal band did
classical
Ride of the
classical-
Valkyries or anything, like, that's all metal if you think about
Classical-
it.
Classical was the metal of its day, So
Yeah.
It sounds heavy.
There's some heavy
yeah.
duty stuff that's
Yeah.
metal, that's
and
like
evil
in
and
that.
evil sounding and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
very like what's that one, Night on Bald Mountain? I mean, Jesus, that like watching that in Fantasia, that scared the shit out of me when I was little. That's such a metal thing. Like that, if any metal band put that out as a music video, you wouldn't question it.
Yeah.
But that's like Sabotage ripping Grieg from the Peer Gynt suite, which is my favorite classical piece of all time, and that's the one that includes Hall of the Mountain King.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That whole Prelude to Madness they play before their song Hall of the Mountain King, that's literally just lifting that classical piece. Love it. Love it.
Yeah. I really do need to start buying more classical music because I enjoy hearing it in the car. Just to hear it at home too would be nice.
It's nice to drive to. I'll do that sometimes where I'm like have too much on my mind or whatever to listen to anything with lyrics in it. I'll put either some weird jazz or I'll put some orchestral stuff. But check out that Gustav Holst Planets. Woo. It's awesome.
Sure will, because I like that kind of stuff.
It's so good. You can hear every planet. It's such a incredibly, like how I talk about albums having that soundscape where it like sets the whole photo in your mind, like the whole video in your mind of.
That's like a movie being played. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, what's your number 6?
Well, it's just been mentioned before, but it's the gateway for a lot of people to get into heavy metal. Quiet Riot, Metal Health. It was one of my gateway albums. Although I was getting into metal, I think a year earlier. My older brother really influenced me with a lot of stuff. But as I was starting to buy like things on my own, like I said at this time, Metal Health was a big time, really getting me into like heavy metal. And I mean, they had their moment. It was like 6 months, man. Everybody just loves like fucking Quiet Riot, dude.
Oh yeah.
Everybody was getting this album and jamming this album, and there's a reason why it sold over like 10 million copies. I mean, because it was just like they had their moment. They were number one, first metal band, like you said. They went number one and all that. And I mean, and like I said, it was the gateway. A lot of people got this and then got into metal further out, and got them into, somebody that normally wouldn't have listened to heavy metal, all of a sudden is buying a heavy metal tape. Like, wow, this is pretty good, and branching out into more. So I'm not going to dwell on it much longer. So it's Metal Health by Quiet Riot.
My number 6, we've already talked about this one, both by Kate and Nate. So, and we talked about him at length, but he is my number 6. Texas Flood by Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble.
Phenomenal.
It's a great album.
The reason why
I'm not going to dwell on it because we talked about it. We talked about my uncle seeing them. So I think we touched on Stevie Ray Vaughan quite a bit tonight.
Yeah,
he deserves it.
Again, the reason why I didn't pick it. Again, the reason why I didn't pick that, and I love that album, is because at that time wasn't into. I'm trying to pick stuff that I was into as a 11-year-old kid,
Right.
But like, I mean, if this was like 1973, obviously I would have been only 1 year old, so I wasn't listening to that at the time. We can go back and pick those favorite albums in hindsight, but now, like in this,
like
era,
Kate,
really,
like I said with Kate.
Yeah, like I'm really getting into music on my own. So I felt like I had to choose the albums that I really listened to at the time. But I mean, shit, man, if Texas Flood, if I knew about it at the time, I probably would have put it on the list. I just didn't know about Stevie until later on. So
great album.
So good.
Jerry, number 5. We're halfway home, guys.
Oh my God, it's Kiss. Look it up.
I knew you'd pick that.
Best non-makeup era Kiss album, in my opinion. I mean, what a great
album, man.
People think Creatures is their comeback or is their best non-makeup album, and I think this one is.
No, I like Creatures better.
Fits like a glove, dance all over your face. It's great.
Creatures has makeup though.
Yeah, Creatures is a makeup album.
Oh yeah, Creatures has makeup though. That is the best non-makeup album.
Wait, guys, did Creatures have makeup on?
They
did.
Well,
it did.
I guess so. Yeah. Okay, you're right. It was okay. I'm wrong. My bad. I have the cover.
You have the Bruce Kulick cover.
Yeah.
You just You just said that was your favorite. But you just said that was your favorite non-makeup album era, right?
Well, this is definitely my non-favorite. My favorite.
Non-favorite.
favorite.
Tell the truth, Jerry. Tell the truth, man.
But that was their first non-makeup.
That's true because
album.
I remember the famous unveiling they did on MTV.
On MTV, yeah. I remember
saw
that too.
It was a
And
great
Vinnie
record.
Vincent was fantastic on that album. He really was. That was a different style of guitar playing. People can say what they want about his lifestyle now or whatever, but that album, Vinnie Vincent kicked ass.
Vinnie Vincent contained.
Yeah.
It's
And Vinnie-
amazing. Vinnie
Vinnie
Vincent
stayed alive.
allowed to do whatever he wants to do. You get a lot of notes that are just trite.
Outrageous solos on a solo.
Yeah, but within that song, I mean, it was a totally different departure. But from, of course, we all love Ace. Ace is the best guitar player that Kiss ever
I'm
had.
seeing him in February.
But Vinny, but Vinnie Vincent was just different. The way that he played on that album.
Oh, he
And
And then he
was.
gave the band a kick in the ass they needed,
did,
and that's just because people couldn't appreciate the brilliance that was Music from the Elder.
Who?
Okay.
And unfortunately, that
What?
was the only album
lost my
with
mind.
Vinny on it.
You say
That was the only album with Vinny. Nate, what's
Well,
your number?
Creatures of the Night had Vinny on it too.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
all
It
of
did,
That's
yeah.
true.
It had that guy from
And
Mr.
if you-
Mister too.
Had Brian Adams on it
Yep.
too.
Yep.
The way he wrote the song.
Where are we?
Well,
Number
he wrote
5?
War
Number
Machine,
five.
didn't he? That's the song he
Yeah.
wrote on that
Number
album?
5. Yeah.
Yeah, War Machine, great tune.
I'd love
Hell
to see
yeah.
Brian Adams do that in one of his concerts.
My number 5 has already been spoken about. I said it when the album was mentioned. It's perfect from front to back and probably responsible for the greatest videos of the 80s. Huey Lewis and the News Sports. There's nothing else to
Yeah.
really say about that record. Except that it should have been higher in the mix, people.
Well, I told you any one of these albums could be my number one. It's like it's hard to pick. You had to put them in an order. You know, if I could just
Yeah,
throw them out in
definitely.
any order, you know, that'd be different.
Yeah.
What's your next one? Your number 5, Mark.
Jerry's favorite band of all time, man. Fucking with videos from the Reflex, New Moon on Monday, Union.
See, I don't hate Duran Duran. I don't know where you get that from.
Because you always go, you're playing Duran Duran again. Ew.
I always go on your show and it's always playing, man.
I haven't played it. I haven't played it for a week. But yeah, dude, Duran Duran, dude. Back then, Duran Duran was my favorite band. And then when
Nah,
I
that's
finally,
cool.
when I went to my first show, REO Speedwagon became my favorite band. Then a couple years later, when I saw fucking Rush, that was it. Nobody's been my favorite band since '87. So, but I changed favorite bands back then until Rush. But Duran Duran is still one of my all-time favorite bands. Still a great live act. Still making new music, unlike Kiss. That's my number 5. Duran Duran, 7 and a Ragged Tiger.
Okay.
Great
Monster was awesome.
Yes.
Okay. When's the last time they made an album?
Monster.
What
That's
year
probably
was
like
that?
10 years already.
What was the last time I heard Duran Duran?
Last year?
What was that song? Rio? Thank
No,
you. Shut up.
Invisible.
Next.
Invisible, bitch.
Okay, what's your number 5?
I don't know. I can't think with all this hostility.
Machismo going on here.
Yeah.
A lot of shots are being fired.
I know.
She's like, I didn't know I was coming.
This is why she won't come on Mark and Jerry with Charles.
I can do that.
You can do that? Cool.
I'll throw down, man. You'll get the uncensored version. I get
Oh,
sassy.
that's what we like, right, Jerry?
See, I'm ready for Rocket Pod. I have business cards made up, man.
Oh,
Hey,
nice.
Jerry,
That's a good idea.
Did you just want to hear Kate just said?
What's the QR code on that?
He didn't hear it.
He's
Jerry,
Exactly.
talking about something else.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
But
try
no,
and do
I
Rock
would
and
love
Pod.
it.
I want to go. We'll have to
It's
see
so
when we
much
go.
fun.
I
You
want to
should-
go
you should
really
do it.
bad. It runs into
Use
the
code
end of
plug
my
20.
Buck 20.
Plug 20.
No, I'd love to
PLUG.
have you on the show, Kate.
That'll give you
Yeah,
20%
I'll come
off.
on.
Yes.
My schedule's hectic, but I've been wanting to do a show. But number 5, Bushy's gonna be mad because it's Bob Marley and the Wailers.
I'm not mad.
He mad,
I'm just saying there's other reggae out there.
right? No, I get heavy into some reggae, man. But
Yes, Buju
Confrontation,
Banton?
his final studio album. I I mean, this just has quite a few hits that you still hear on a regular basis. So that was kind of my thinking in picking this one. I love Bob Marley. I mean, that's just, I think I'm literally wearing a Bob Marley hoodie. Yes, I am. That was unplanned, but I have a lot of Bob Marley stuff. So I bet I'm wearing one.
I like Marley a lot, actually.
He's just such a phenomenal player, songwriter. Like, that's another person who was gone way too soon. I think he's like 34 when he died. Wow. The motherfucker got shot and did a whole concert.
Yeah.
So tell me that's not badass, because his whole point, it was like a big battle. Like, obviously where he's from, there's a lot of political strife all the time. And he was doing a show for one of the candidates, whatever, and was shot because of it. And then he ends up doing this whole show because if he didn't, they would have won. They would have gotten what they wanted. So what's he do? He has like 2 bullets in him and goes and does like a 3-hour set. Yeah. So I mean, you got to look into that more. That is some crazy history. But what a BA. And I think he's just a phenomenal musician. Like, there's so much to him. And that's not that long a time that he was doing stuff. So I think that's just pretty incredible.
Wow.
Stands the test of time. Yeah, you got to watch that. Marley documentary is really good. It's called
really
Marley.
good.
That's a great documentary.
Yeah.
Really good.
But Nate, I was going to mention, I don't know if you know Sugar Shack Sessions on YouTube. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
That's a really awesome YouTube channel. If you guys are into reggae at all and you want to know some reggae bands that are around now that are kind of under the radar, Sugar Shacks are phenomenal. I'm going to shout out Mike Love, not the Beach Boy. Mike Love from Hawaii is like an amazing reggae artist. Phenomenal, ridiculous guitar player. I'll post this one song. Like, he can loop and do all this crazy stuff. I'll post it on the Black Spinner page, but man, this song where he does all this looping and it's acoustic guitar and looping, it is wild.
Oh, wow.
But
that's crazy.
He will stun you. He is such a masterful guitar player. He sings beautifully. He plays ukulele. He's like amazing. So I'll post it. But yeah, my number 5 is Bob Marley, Confrontation. Al, what's your number 5?
See, hold on, Al, because I have to defend myself, because I know I was talking about the cruise reggae.
Well, she's talking smack about cruise and reggae.
I'm just saying, if you go on a cruise, that's the reggae they're going to play. They're going to play Bob Marley.
Oh, yeah. I don't want, like, elevator reggae.
And there's
no.
so much out there.
Elevator
That's all I was
reggae.
trying to say.
I don't want elevator reggae. I want,
Elevator
like...
reggae.
Because like 400 years was
reggae.
amazing. Kaya.
Yeah.
Man, I love Bob Marley.
Well, like, my big roots thing of me growing up, I'm a huge ska nerd. So going back to, like, ska being in reggae and going into, like, rocksteady and dance hall, that is big time stuff that I love. So that's
like
a
the
huge
Specials?
influence in reggae. Yeah. And R.I.P. Yeah. That's just, like, I don't know. There's so much
I could
to
get
that.
drunk in a hut drinking rum, listening to
Yeah,
reggae. Easy.
Yeah. And I'm not even a stoner. I don't even smoke weed, but I love a whole lot of stoner music.
Take me where the tourists don't go. Just don't get me
Yeah.
shot. That's where
Yeah.
I want to go.
I don't want to lose an organ, but I want to go hang out in some dank hut on the beach and drink out of a coconut. I'm down. It
Yes.
sounds like a good time.
Yes.
I want to hear some live steel drums, not at a resort.
I want to hear some political shit that I'm not even sure if I know what
Yeah.
they're talking about.
I don't
but
even
I'm
fully
down.
comprehend what they're talking about,
I don't even know
but
what the
I'm
hype
down.
is about.
I will be a Rastafarian. Just play that shit for me.
You have to look up that thing about Marley getting shot, man. That's some
Oh, that's
wild,
crazy. I never knew that.
wild stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I knew about that.
yeah.
That's why I had to defend myself real quick.
All right, all right,
So-
all right.
so
We'll
you
let
go
it
ahead,
slide.
Al.
We'll let it slide.
I'm
It's
just
okay.
tired of
This
hearing
guy.
no woman, no cry. And people saying I like reggae. Shut up. No, you don't.
I like Peter. You like Peter Tosh? Peter Tosh is pretty
Yeah,
good.
I have a Peter Tosh album right here, honestly.
Nice.
All right, Al.
Al,
Number
what's your
5.
All right, so my number 5. This is another album that could be considered a gateway into hard rock metal for a lot of people. And at the time, this band still had 10 arms.
Oh, snap. What has
Talk
9
about that.
arms and sucks?
Talk about
Not Def
Pyromania.
Leppard. Sorry.
Def Leppard Pyromania. who played the hell out of this album. It was like the last album for me where they were a real kick-ass hard rock band.
Here,
did like
I'll
Hysteria.
hold it up for you. This one's for
Thank
sale
you.
if anyone wants it.
Thank you. I did like Hysteria when it first came out, but it didn't age well with me. But the first three Def Leppard albums are sacred to me. I think it's the best, in my opinion. Okay, I know they've had some couple songs here and there that I like, but I mean, nothing could ever compare to the first three for me. So Pyromania, Def Leppard, Gateway for a lot of people also. Colorful videos on MTV, and they just were on top of the world. So you couldn't
That's my
escape
favorite
them
Def
either.
Leppard song on it.
But
Nope.
I love Hysteria. I like the last album also, so sue me.
You like to
Rock
make
it-
love,
rock
like to
it-
make
No,
love,
it's
don't
fine.
you?
Listen, it's
Rock
fine.
of Ages
No, I'm
is my all-time favorite Def Leppard song.
The people talk, you know,
front to back is great.
you heard people talking shit about about Motley Crue during that whole stadium tour. Nobody said one bad thing about Def Leppard's performance. Just take that. They were great.
Well, they always bring
Well,
it, but
they're always good. They're
Yeah.
they're
they're always
But they
just a
still got
great
in the
band.
made fun of conversation. I said,
But I
"Why are you
also
making fun
heard
of Def Leppard?"
I also heard Poison stole the show. So sit down.
Poison was awesome. Def Leppard, but I think Poison and Def Leppard were both together. They were both good.
But the thing is that it's no surprise about Def Leppard playing great. You know, they've been doing it for years.
Yeah, I've
They
seen them
tour
3 or
every
4
summer,
times.
and it's always they never disappoint about
True
Def
story.
Leppard.
Pyromania, great album, Al. Not
Great
even on my
album.
list. There was this, dude. 1983. I should have said, "Hey, Andy, I'm out, dude." Because what a hard year.
It was.
Again, I picked Pyromania because I played the shit out. I mean, I remember riding BMX and we had a boombox. That was like one of the cassettes we always played. That one, Quiet Riot. I mean, it was just like part of that summer, man. You know, it's
Shout
I
out
just
to
had-
an amazing old boombox, by the way.
Oh yeah.
He had
We
like
all had
20,
them. You had to hold
20D
it up
batteries,
here.
cost like $47 to play
Yep.
for 3 hours. But shout out to it.
I remember what mine
It's
still looked
in
like.
your eye.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love a good old boombox. That's the
was
best.
I used to
Brown,
have
I
one
love
play. I used to have one walking my dog, just going down the neighborhood.
You thought you were hot shit, man.
I was playing the cars and shit like that, man. I was like,
Mhm.
It was like the
Mhm.
bigger the better.
yeah.
Yeah, it's getting
Dude,
a comeback.
fucking
Cassettes
what,
are
8
coming
it
back.
took 8D batteries.
Yeah,
8D
that's what I'm
battery.
saying. It was
Yeah.
expensive to
Battery.
run a
Crazy.
boombox.
Last
I
about
know.
an hour or two.
It lasts about an hour. Yeah.
You could
You
play
hear
the
it slowly
radio
powering
all day
down.
long, but if you were
Yeah.
playing cassettes, you were screwed.
No, all the
Yeah.
extra
One album,
juice,
you
man.
better choose a good one. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
all you're gonna hear that day.
You get one
Those things
cassette,
were
and that's
those
it.
things were the eater of cassettes, man. I bought
Yeah.
so many cassettes.
If that
Damn
didn't
thing.
inject
yeah.
right, you were SOL.
And they were all gray with black speakers and silver buttons.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, speaking of cassettes, I got a couple here with me. Here's Raising Hell I was listening to, and also David Lee Roth's Crazy from the Heat that I was listening to as well.
Nice.
It's pretty good. My number 5 are this pieces of the game
Genesis.
Perfection, of course, and it's Genesis.
Mhm.
Great album.
Their
It's a good
self-titled album. And I just realized this week while I was pulling out that these are from the game Perfection.
Perfection. Did anyone initialize
It never
their
popped up to
first
me.
amount of like anxiety playing that game?
Right?
That or
Yeah.
Operation?
Yeah.
But this was a really good. They were moving towards pop, but they still had a little bit of prog in them, like Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea. But man, the jams, Mama, That's All, Taking It All Too Hard, Just a Job to Do. All these were on this album. It's not a greatest hits album. It was all on this self-titled album, and it was produced by them. And you know, I'm a big Genesis fan. Their early stuff and their later stuff with Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins. But lately, the past 2 years, it's been the Phil Collins era for me. For the past couple of years, that I've really been listening to a lot of. Jerry, what's your number 4?
Yeah. This album rules, man. Fucking
I
John
figured
Mutt
every
Lange,
single
man.
one of you would have that.
John Mutt Lange, man. I mean, he's a fucking everything that guy touched was gold back then. And, amazing producer. But yeah, this is like chock full of hits, man. Foolin' is my favorite song from Def Leppard. And it's surprisingly how good they are live. The way their vocals. I mean, their vocals are so overlapped on top of each other in the studio. But when you hear it live, they don't sound that bad, really. I mean,
No, they pull it off. And you hear all the major guitar parts because they have like 47 tracks per guitar.
Exactly.
But it all works, man. They're definitely pros.
And this
Their
is,
harmonies are so great to listen to live. I mean, it's just
another
amazing
album that was all
voice.
over MTV. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
go a day without seeing.
I'll get to that one later. It's
That's
like,
probably why Rock of Ages is my favorite song is MTV.
Full, and that's how
Photograph. It's just man.
the deep tracks on that album. are
Photograph,
amazing.
Die Hard, The Hunter. What a great fucking record.
Coming under fire.
Billy's got a gun.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing's just great. Nate, what's
Too
your
Late for
number
Love.
4?
Great record.
But my number 4 has already been mentioned a couple times, man. My dad had 2 albums by this band. He had Paranoid and he had Born Again. So I was introduced to that band very young. Because we're talking Heidelberg, Germany. We were there from 83 to 86. So yeah, man, Born Again, great album. We can't sing enough praises to it. I got nothing else to say about it. Everyone bitches about Digital Bitch. You're fucking wrong. It's amazing.
I
That's
like
an
it.
awesome song, man.
Yeah.
The title,
great,
the
too.
title track, "Born Again," is awesome too, man.
Yes,
it is.
true story.
I consider it like a doom ballad, man. It's like really, really awesome. So
I just get so mad when people talk about Born Again. They're like, yeah, Digital Bitch sucks. And I know I haven't
love
heard
that
that
song.
here, but I'm just talking about, I've heard that. It's like, oh, yeah. I was like, what are
But
you
that
listening to,
album-
man? That's a great song.
Ian
But
Gillan's
that
a
album
great
could have been
fucking singer,
released
man.
easily in the early 90s. It's got that very ahead of its time kind of sound to it. It really does.
Yeah.
It's got that grungy sound to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
You could lay Born Again next to Dehumanizer with Ronnie James, and I think they're sister albums.
Wow. Well,
They
I
just
really
both
see
kinda
that
got that
album
feel.
that way, too.
yeah,
What's your number 4, Mark?
My number 4, another band I get made fun of, like Nine-Armed Leopard. U2 War.
Oh yeah.
I had that on vinyl back then. I was just jamming New Year's Day, 2 Hard Speed is 1.
I love
Fucking,
that.
it's a fucking great fucking band. The video for New Year's Day fucking earned like the snow and shit.
Yeah.
It was like they were like cinematic with no money back then. That was fucking pretty
I was
cool.
gonna say it cost like $5 to make that video, but
Yeah.
it was kind of cool.
It was
I know
cinematic
exactly.
though. It was like even their old videos from October, dude. They like had like a punk cinematic feel to them,
Yeah.
and they were all. I think U2 was always ahead of their time, and they got so ahead of their time that they got made fun of. But I love U2 War. That's my number 4.
And,
I liked them all the way up to the Joshua Tree. After that,
Oh, I love a lot of
Oh,
albums.
man.
I
after
love
that.
Joshua Tree.
Octone
after
Baby,
that.
dude.
Mhm.
they
Octone
got
Baby.
better.
and that
To
file
me-
they dropped on the iTunes was just
Okay,
horrible.
drop it.
Okay, but I think they got better after the Joshua Tree. Each
I think they
album
did
was an
too.
experiment. It was
Yes.
fantastic.
Except for Zooropa. I hate that album.
I do like Zeropa.
I like Stay. That's it.
Pop.
Pop's a good album.
Oh, I like
Octane
Pop.
Baby is one of the best albums I've ever heard.
What album?
Octane
Enjoy.
Baby.
Octone Baby is one of the greatest albums of all time. Yes,
I do
it
like
is.
Mysterious Ways. I'll give you that much. But other than
What
But
the hell did you just say?
Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses, man? That's a fucking great song right
Oh,
there.
that's-
Not
great.
not you too.
U2's great.
but I
Shut up,
was going to
Dave.
say, U2 at that time when War came out, they had a concert at Red Rocks
I have that
that
CD
they
too.
played it forever on MTV, and man, that was a hell of a performance.
You're looking at that arena, dude, has so much aesthetics to it. It's
I
like
want
you're
to go
looking at
there.
you're looking at it, it's still
I wanna
there.
go
It's like
so
I want to
bad.
go to a show there
It
because
looks amazing.
it's just an amazing. I think Chicago had and Artist Speedwagon had a show that was streaming up there together. That was a pretty cool show, man. And it was raining during U2's set. You know, that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I've got a Neil Young DVD that's from there. It was called I forgot the name of the album, but it's a live album and it's from there. And it's
All
raining.
those live at Red Rocks are
Great.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sound
It's
just sounds
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
wife and I, we are going to go to one. We just don't know when.
Yeah, I
but
want to go
that's
up there
on the
so
list.
bad.
So, what's your number 4, Kate?
So this might be a gateway metal album. I haven't had a chance to say the gateway, but Dio, Holy Diver. Dio is one of the best metal singers ever, and anybody could fight me. I will fight them because I love Dio. A nice human, phenomenal singer. I think he's as tall as I am. I think he was like 5'2", but he is adorable and sweet and amazing. And we can credit him for the Devil Horns and this album.
Oh,
is
it's phenomenal.
phenomenal,
that was
start
Gene
to finish.
Simmons.
Yeah, it was
That
Gene Simmons. He was going to
No,
trademark
it's
it.
not. No.
I
You gotta keep the
swear,
thumb in,
dude.
and it's Dio's little grandma, his little Baba
Grandma.
yelling at him.
Yeah.
His
I
little
know it is.
Baba
It's
yelling
the old
at him.
Italian thing.
Fucking
Yeah,
Gene
so his
Simmons.
little Baba yelling at him and doing it, and people
I was
need
married
to
to an
credit
Italian
Dio.
woman. I got that thrown at me a few times.
You better watch your ass, man. That's dangerous. But that
Oh, I divorced her years ago.
oh, that broad's long gone.
she
That's
she was
okay.
5'2" and crazy. So
Yeah, you gotta act crazy because if you're short like me, you gotta puff up like a toad and start acting like a lunatic, and people will go away.
Yeah, my wife does that too.
See? I
She's
only
like-
pull it out on special occasions when
She's
it's
five.
necessary.
She's 5'0". She's 5'0".
Yeah. I don't know. I do this thing. I get all puffed up and try to make myself look bigger. But but Dio, man, somebody who was huge without being huge, like his voice and his persona on stage, and I mean everything from Rainbow and Dio, like Sabbath, all
My
the shit
favorite
that
Sabbath
he
singer.
has had his
All of it.
hands in is so freaking good, and his voice is just. I mean,
top 5 greatest voice in metal.
yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
he recorded.
Arguably the best.
Yeah.
He recorded
Yeah.
before Elvis.
Arguably, you are
Yeah,
right.
he's
Joe,
just-
arguably.
Dio can do no wrong in my book. And I mean, I know like RIP Dio, but there's just nothing I've ever heard that I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Like every time I hear Dio, it's this like, even though it's metal, it's always this like soothing thing. It's funny.
He's
I don't
very
know.
operatic.
And
it's
he
great
just,
stuff.
and to have like, we just watched this like mini doc on him, and it was like 20 minutes of him showing this guy around his house.
Wasn't
I
that
saw
the
that too, actually.
MTV Cribs?
No, it wasn't a Cribs. It was some like
He did
English
a Cribs though.
show. It
Did
was
he
some
really?
other dude.
He
but-
did a Cribs though.
It's on YouTube. I'll have to
Oh, yeah.
drop it in the chat because it's such a great thing. And Dio just seems like an absolute doll. Like he's just so nice.
Yeah, he seemed
he-
like a wicked sweetheart.
I think,
Yeah.
and that's Al met him, and Al said he was legit so nice, and he appreciated his fans, and he was super humble. And it's like he didn't have to be like that at all, and he was through and
Yeah,
through.
he could have been all ego.
But what
Yeah,
a
he was-
phenomenal album. Amazing
Yeah.
album cover. I love the way the cover looks. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just love Dio so much. So I had to throw Dio in the mix.
It's a great album.
That Napoleon Complex.
Great album. I couldn't put it on my list because the timeline. I wasn't listening to that album.
Yeah, if
back
you
then.
didn't know Dio yet. Yeah,
No,
I
I
get
didn't
it.
know Dio yet.
I get it.
See, that's what
I'm
I'm
saying-
saying. You're lucky. You get to put the best albums up front. I had
I
to
get
put
to
the
just
ones
pick
I was into. But there's
one-
one I'm gonna put in that I wasn't into back then, but I have to put it
Yeah, probably like my top 10 obviously isn't all of like the, not even necessarily stuff that's in the top 100 of 83, but I'm all over the place. My listening tastes are so random, but I definitely have a few of the top 10 of 83 in my top 10.
Oh wow,
Nice.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I really do. What's your number 4?
So this album is kind of it's a little bit of the outlier of my list because I didn't get into this album until about probably 2 years later. But I had to include it on this list because it's such a game changer and it introduced a whole new genre of music. And it's got to be Kill 'Em All by Metallica. Now, Kill 'Em All wasn't on my radar in '83. I mean, it wasn't until I discovered Metallica in '85 that I kind of went back and then heard. But I had to kind of make an exception for this list and just include it on here because, I mean, Metallica ended up kind of ruling the rest of the '80s for me. Like they were pretty much top band, you know, and Kill 'Em All is such a game changer. It's introduced the world of thrash. It wasn't a hit out of the gate. I mean, it was an underground hit, but you know, in hindsight, everybody is always like, yeah, man, Kill 'Em All and all. But you know, Kill 'Em All, nobody fucking really knew that shit back then, man. Only if you were really hardcore underground metal, like tape trading and all that shit, that you really knew this stuff. So it wasn't until like 2 years later I got introduced to Ride the Lightning by my brother.
That's my favorite Metallica record.
That's my favorite Metallica album as well. Like I Metallica came on my radar in '85. My older brother's friend brought Ride the Lightning over. We played it. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And so then like I had to know who the hell this was. It was such a new sound. But then he's like, "Yeah, well, they have an album before this one. This is their second album." And I kind of went back and discovered Kill 'Em All then. But I had to merit putting them on the list for here, so I put it at number 4. I mean, it could be number 1 on the list now in hindsight, but there's other albums that, like, you know, in '83 I was fucking really playing, so I couldn't merit putting it at number 1, so it had to be in there somewhere, so I put number 4. So Kill 'Em All, Metallica.
Are you guys all gonna go see him?
Yeah, I already got my tickets.
Nice.
Haven't decided.
Well, you better go.
I'm
I
in
gotta find
between.
out.
I think I should go.
I don't have
You
tickets
should.
yet, but
I
Yeah.
live at a
I've never
spot
seen him.
where I have to really
Al will get free
travel.
backstage passes.
Try to go.
I've seen him
Al will
3
just
times.
be like
I don't
with
know if
everyone
I'll-
on stage, and we'll
Yeah,
see it
yeah,
like
I know.
live
Al
at
will
Madison
just be
Square
there.
Garden.
He
We're
won't have to
bringing
pay
up
for that.
Al.
He won't pay for that $10,000
Bring it
lounge
Al.
package. He'll just be there.
Shit.
He'll just
I
walk
saw
right
his-
in.
Even if I was a millionaire, I wouldn't fucking buy that for $10,000.
I saw Al's picture today on Facebook hanging out with Alex Lifeson and Getty Lee.
I know. It's
And
like,
he's all
fucker.
cock diesel looking like I'm like, he scared those sons of bitches into that picture. I know how he's got all these pictures now. See, Al, all I see is from like here up on you when I'm doing these things with you.
Yeah.
You're like a bodybuilder, dude. You're
And
like,
it wasn't
bitch,
the
you
first
will
time.
take this
I still
picture
got some
with
guns.
me.
Al does what I
now."
do. He gets up and puffs out his chest, and then they take pictures with him.
He had his battle vest on with no sleeves on his t-shirt. He was all
Yeah, he'll walk into that Metallica lounge, get his 3 free drinks, the free merch, and take pictures of them and walk out and not pay $10,000.
Yeah,
Lars, come here, bitch.
he just goes in there, Van Dam's the door open, and they all
Van
take
Dam.
pictures with him.
That was a great picture, by the way. Love the
Well,
hair.
thank you.
Yeah.
Love the hair. I remember having hair. It was a beautiful thing.
My
Go ahead,
number 4
Andy.
is going to go along with Kate's. Holy Diver is my number 4.
Nice.
You know, Stand Up and Shout, Holy Diver.
Rainbow
Don't
in the
Talk to
Dark,
Strangers,
man.
Rainbow in the Dark, but Don't Talk to Strangers. I mean, just
I love Don't Talk to Strangers. It's such a weird
Oh,
Don't
God.
Talk to Strangers. When you first heard that, you're like,
yeah,
I
what?
love Invisible also.
yeah. That was a
Yeah.
really good album. I love it. And,
Yeah.
Not a bad song. Not a bad song.
no, that's not a bad song on that album at all.
Yeah.
But that's my number 4. Is Holy
Great
Diver.
album.
Jerry, number 3.
Great.
This is actually the first album I owned from these guys. Iron Maiden, Peace of Mind. Great
Yeah.
fucking shit on this. To Tame a Land, Trooper,
Mhm.
fucking
Flight of Icarus, man.
Flight of Icarus,
Flight of
Dude, when
Icarus
they
is
did that
my
when I saw
all-time
him,
favorite
woo!
Maiden song.
Revelations, man. Die with your boots on. I mean, come on, man. This is like
Yeah.
legendary fucking metal. Nico McBrain's first album. Clive Burr was an awesome drummer, by the way.
Yes, but he wasn't
I
on
think
that
Nico's
album.
my favorite.
Yeah,
Nico
yeah.
seems like a really cool dude. But anyway,
This is a hell of a year for metal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's some damn good metal albums this year, and we've talked about quite a few of them. And like,
and that fucking album cover rules. All their
No, that
all their
album
album covers are amazing.
yeah, they are.
Except for
Well-
Dance of Death. Come on, Dance of Death is pretty.
yeah.
But that's
It looks
I'm talking
digital.
about that album
It's
cover.
horrible.
That's horrible.
I do
Even
like
the
the
Blaze
album.
Them
though.
live.
Even the Blaze era albums that are cool looking.
Ew.
They
I
were
gotta
amazing.
tell you,
I like
Peace of
Blaze,
Mind
so fuck
is
you.
my. It fluctuates depending on the day that I'm listening to Iron Maiden. Peace of Mind is either my favorite Iron Maiden record, or it's my second favorite Iron Maiden album. But it's
Somewhere
always
in time, right?
Somewhere in time.
I
or
knew it.
the two that flip back and forth for me.
I knew Somewhere in Time was in that mix.
Yeah, I love it. Well, come on. I open up my show with that as my
I
sound
know.
bed.
I know.
Killers and Number of the Beast, my two favorite. I can keep going back and forth on.
See.
My
If
favorite
we
Number of the
Beast.
Beast, I probably listen to the most.
back then, I didn't listen to Iron Maiden, so sadly that would be in my top 10 now, but not then. So
I was listening to fucking Dolly Parton in 1983. I had to look back.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Dolly.
Yeah,
No,
but
I love I love Dolly, but I'm saying I would have Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, how did he not make my list?
hey,
That's 82
That was
though.
Oh, it's 82.
He's
You're
top,
right.
He's top of charts. Thriller's
Yeah.
82, but he's top of charts on 83. But
Yeah.
Thriller dropped in 82.
Good
82.
call.
Yeah.
That's a great album. I would have picked that as in my 82 list.
It would have been
Thriller?
everybody's number one.
Holy
Thriller,
hell.
come on.
No,
Thriller's
I don't
like-
think it would have been, but it
would've
would have been
my
up
number
there.
one.
Thriller
It
would have
would've
been
been an
real high on
honorable
my
mention.
list. Shout out to
Honorable
Thriller.
mention, really? Wow.
Yeah, well, 1982. I loved Thriller. It was everywhere, of course. But like, if I heard it now, which I bought the CD probably about a couple of weeks ago, because I did not have a copy of it anymore because it had been lost and traded and this and that.
Sacrilege.
I got it vinyl and CD.
But
That's on that top 50 list of needing it in a vinyl collection.
Yeah,
I have it.
It will be an
Prince
honorable
Purple
mention that we did 1982. What's your number?
Sadly, I don't own any physical copy of that at all. Actually, believe it or not, I used to.
They're
have it,
so
but not
cheap,
anymore.
man. I'll keep an eye peeled. I'll find you one cheap.
I'm
the
still
Thriller?
looking for some disco.
What album? So that just got beat out. That was like the most popular selling album of all time
Eagles beat 'em.
forever. And then something beat it.
Eagles
Eagles.
Greatest Hits.
Eagles
Volume
Greatest
one.
Hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then something beat
Oh, the
that
first
now.
collection.
Probably Taylor Swift. I don't know.
Yeah, I
great.
guess the Taylor Swift or
Hey, I don't hear no Taylor bashing, man.
I just
I can't
took
do
a
it,
guess.
Jerry. Sorry.
I'm bashing.
Yeah. I bashed it.
I bashed too.
I bashed that bitch. I can't do it.
Oh,
I tried. I don't like it.
I don't like Taylor Swift.
I didn't like her country. I don't like her pop.
I can't do it. Any of it.
Can she sing? Okay. No,
Yeah, she can sing.
Mm-mm.
I guess.
I think Miley Cyrus is way better than her.
Yeah,
Miley's
I-
actually surprisingly
I don't like
good
her
after
either.
the Hannah Montana crap.
Yeah.
I was pretty
I,
surprised by
I
how
heard
some
her
of
do that
stuff
cover
was
of Head Like a Hole from that Black Mirror.
good. Mhm.
Oh my God.
She
that
did
was
I called-
something.
I called Miley Cyrus when Nevaeh's sister was watching Hannah Montana. I was like, oh, she's going to be a hoe.
amazing.
Called that way back then.
We can't say that. It's not PC.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just
PC.
kidding.
But I was definitely right.
Hey, that child acting, I was talking about that earlier today, and I was like, man, child acting is real rough on
It's
a
a
lot
bad
of those
idea.
people. It is
On a
so
lot of
bad for
people.
them. And so many, think of how many are like normal humans now, not very many, or didn't have
many.
drug problems, or didn't. Because I was talking about
Julie
Weird.
Garland,
If
man.
you guys haven't watched Weird, you need to watch it. It's really funny, that Weird Al video, but the like movie that came
Yeah,
out.
I've
But
That was
Uh,
awesome.
Daniel Radcliffe, I didn't know had like a ton of drug problems and stuff from doing Harry Potter, which I didn't know about. But I'm like, man,
wow.
almost all those kids, like everybody ends up with the issue. Sorry to be a bummer.
It makes perfect sense to me because
but-
Drew Barrymore was my favorite. I loved her since
She went
E.T.
through a lot of shit
because
man.
she's literally
Yeah.
one day younger than I am.
Oh my god,
forget
and
about-
that
don't
thing
forget
in
about-
Wayne's World, how gorgeous and hot is she in Wayne's World?
Oh,
she's like
she's the
Jorgen,
Swedish
whatever.
girl. Yeah,
She's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
Schmergen.
Don't
Yeah.
forget about like
Yeah.
who's that? Like
Shmurgen.
freaking
Yeah.
that one dude, Mickey Rooney. His parents ripped him off. Like, and he went through a lot of shit.
Oh,
Julie
yeah.
Garland became a
Well,
drunk
that was
and,
like
and a drug addict because she was too fat.
'cause-
And they kept feeding
well,
her
that's when
fucking
they did
speed.
Black Beauty together,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that like
And they forced her to
So
have an
bad.
abortion.
yeah.
well, and
Well,
when
very
she
young
was
age.
doing Wizard of Oz, and they wanted her
Yeah.
to be tiny and cute, and they had her like smoking an entire pack of cigarettes a day, and like she was allowed to eat a can of tuna or some crazy, like this
Yeah.
crazy abusive stuff. And just thinking about that, there's like this video of her in black and white, and she had like vaudeville makeup, so she has like a beard and a top hat, and she's dressed like a bum, which is weird, but it's the most devastating thing to watch because she's singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow and you can see she is just breaking down.
Ugh.
I'm like, man, this like crushes my soul. I've watched it twice and I can't watch it ever again because it's
I've
that
never
like
seen the-
heartbreaking to watch.
They did that kind of stuff to Carrie Fisher too.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God,
George
yeah.
Lucas was like, "You're too fat," so they started a fat camp for Star Wars. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And she wasn't even fat
No.
at all. Yeah, I don't
but
know.
to go
That's
back
that
to-
whole thing is just so bonkers to me when they do stuff like this to people. But
But to go back to what Mark was talking about, I really do enjoy those Andy Rooney. And,
what a talent!
movies! Yeah,
All
those are
those people
good.
back then, they could sing,
Huckleberry
they could
Finn's
dance,
one of
they
my
could
all-time
act.
favorites.
which one? Who?
Huckleberry Finn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm-
baby
maybe I'm
Andy
thinking.
Rooney.
Are you
Mickey
talking
Rooney.
about Mickey Rooney?
I'm thinking of
Mickey Rooney. Yeah,
I
Mickey
Yeah.
Rooney.
think of
Andy Rooney was a
Rooney.
60 Minutes guy.
Yeah.
I was talking about
Mickey
Mickey Rooney, the child
Mickey
Okay.
actor.
Rooney.
He was sick.
So I'm with you, Mark. Right?
From, like,
I'm thinking
Black
Mickey
Beauty.
Rooney. Okay.
Yeah, Mickey
Yeah.
Rooney.
Black
I said
Beauty,
Andy
yes.
Rooney.
Yeah,
No,
the
good
OG
stuff, man,
one,
yeah.
not the remake from the '90s, but the OG
Yeah.
one. That's him and
Right.
Judy.
Oh,
She
but the
was,
thing
she
is
was
that
super
his-
young.
But he was Andy Hardy in the movies. That's what got me mixed up.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
that makes
I
sense.
got
Yeah,
His
Yeah.
roles were the Andy Hardy movies. That
Yeah, old
he did a
Huckleberry
lot with
Finn.
the-
I laugh about shit that shouldn't necessarily be funny. Like when his aunt or his mom, whoever it is, comes out on the porch and calls to him. And just the way she calls to him, Huckleberry, hits that real high note.
yeah, yeah.
That kind of stuff
Like
just
she-
cracks me up.
Like a
And when
Suey.
him and Jim are talking, and Huck starts complaining, he's like, "Hey, say you got a lot of right making me feel bad." Dude, that stuff cracks me up.
Those are
that's
some
great
banned
humor.
books now. All
I
the
know
all the
it.
words in them that are banned, but
Yeah, but I liked Huck Finn better than Tom Sawyer.
mhm,
Say,
mhm.
Huck Finn was
Same.
so good. Oh, which one came first? I think Sawyer, right? And
I
then
thought
Yeah.
Tom Sawyer came first and
Tom Sawyer.
Huckleberry Finn came
I
after.
think Sawyer was
From
first.
Sawyer. Okay.
What?
And number three,
I can't do a Geddy Lee. Sorry, my bad.
Getty Lee.
Today's
shouldn't be
Tom
Geddy
Sawyer.
Lee.
Sawyer? I don't know. Okay, I can't do it.
Nobody
hey,
sings like Getty. Getty's another one. Nobody sings like Getty.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
what's your
Shut
number three, Nate?
You like fucking
Nate,
King
what's
Diamond.
your-
I don't understand that.
My number three. Look, this band ruled New York for years and years and years. They got no love. Record companies passed them over all the time. They're the most bombastic band. They were blowing everybody off the stage. They were destroying everybody without a fucking record deal. Their second album, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, man. Twisted Sister. Oh, dude, these guys were a powerhouse back in the late 70s and early 80s up until they actually made a record, for a major label. They were hungry. They were arrogant. They were powerful. They were everything you wanted in a rock and roll band, and they really upped the glam. I love glam, and they took it to the whole crazy, weird transvestite thing that was just shocking as hell to see, when you went on stage, because they just went, not like a RuPaul pretty transvestite. They were like the ugliest things you could possibly be. And it
It'd be offensive.
it just all worked. It all worked. They were a powerhouse band. I think their best stuff was before they signed with Atlantic and did Stay Hungry, although there is some quality stuff on Stay Hungry, I'm not going to lie. But man, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, probably the best thing Twisted Sister ever did.
Great album.
Yeah, Love Us for Suckers. They kind of lost me on that one, but yeah.
I love that album.
Yeah, nah. That's basically almost a Dean solo album in a way, ain't it? Kind of.
It is.
Nate sent me the Come Out and Play album. It's not bad.
No, that's good.
I like Come Out and Play, but their best album is Can't Stop Rock and Roll.
I agree.
Under the
with you.
Blades really, dude, they're kind of neck and neck. But
What's your number three, Mark?
My number three is like Al did. He picked Metallica Kill 'Em All. I wasn't into Metallica Kill 'Em All till like 87, but that was the first Metallica album I got into. And then it was Injustice right after, and then I was in line to buy the Black album. So this is freaking a killer album. I had to pick it, even though I wasn't listening to it in 83. It's just so good. there's no way you could dismiss this album. It had to be picked.
Yep.
And so Metallica Kill 'Em All is my number 3.
And also, if y'all want to go to the Freeform Rock podcast and hear him and Lee and Charles review that, it's a really good episode. Really good.
It is? Oh,
yeah. Yeah. I don't think you remember doing that one.
You're the one that
It's
liked.
really good.
Oh, you're the one who liked.
I'm the one that gave it the okay thumbs up. The one that's me. Kate, what's your
Thank
number 3? You're welcome.
Can we give a shout out to Dee Snider for going into court and being such an eloquent human and fighting the terror that is Tipper Gore?
Yeah.
They didn't
expect
expect
Zappa, man. Zappa.
Yeah, Zappa dude.
And John Denver.
That blew their minds.
Sits down, pulls out a piece of paper, crumpled up piece of paper, man. Just fucking legendary, man.
Got his sleeveless vest on, jean vest.
They need to make a documentary of that. Or
They did not expect that intelligence coming from him, man. They were ready to eat him up, and they couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
No, and the best part of that was Al Gore being pissed off.
Yeah.
When he says that if you're fighting sadomasochism, it's because Tipper Gore interprets it that way because she has sadomasochistic ideas or something. However he said it, he just brutalized that committee. It was the greatest thing ever.
The whole thing starts because she doesn't know who the hell Prince is and how sexualized his music is, and all shit breaks loose. They
That's
just
the fucking worst.
come in and blow people's minds, man. Watching those trials is so great.
That's the worst when people don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
And I just get so frustrated. Parents, like a parent that's so tuned out of their kid's life to just be like, "Oh, I don't care what you have," and then be pissed later. That's on you. That's not.
What was that rap band? What was that
music.
rap band they targeted?
Oh yeah, they really.
Two Live Crew. Yeah, that's it.
They went after so many people, so it's
When
just
Luke
funny.
Skywalker was the Luke.
Yeah,
they were
he got sued by Star Wars.
They were responsible for the rating, the sticker, right? The warning sticker.
No, the stickers came out after.
The parental guidance
those
was
trials.
later.
After
The weird
trials.
ratings was like occult and sexual and like these different letter ratings.
All it did was make music sell more. I was like,
that made kids want
put a
these
song on
things
Cherry
more.
Pie just to get that sticker saying "Ode to Tipper Gore."
Ice-T released a track, and he said, hey PMRC, you stupid fucking assholes, the sticker on the record is is what makes it sell gold.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Like, so funny. Well,
yeah,
that whole
I like
plan
hip hop
backfired
too.
on
See,
him.
I'm all over the place too. So
Yeah.
I love hip hop, but it had to be late '80s, early '90s for my hip hop.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, I'm a late '80s, early '90s too.
Well, I like Scribble. Scribble's pretty good, man.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good, man.
Yeah. I played him on the show, and you guys both liked him. So
yeah.
I had him on the show and liked him.
I know you did. He wants to come on Mark and Jerry too. So
wow.
and
It's good stuff. He's a young kid, man. Latino, and dude, he breaks it down old school. It's good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, he really does. I want to hear some more stuff from him. Where are we at?
I'm on number 3.
Okay, Kate.
I did Bowie, Let's Dance.
Good album.
Good one.
I love Bowie. Bowie would have just had a birthday, and it's just the anniversary of him going away and that. So, I mean, it's just wild. Let's Dance has 2 of my favorite Bowie songs of all time. Modern Love kicks off this album.
Oh,
Good
great
song.
tune.
Yeah.
Dude, Modern Love, whoo, it'll blow your hair back. It's such a good song. And then, like, Let's Dance, obviously, the title track. I mean, these are just... This album's great beginning to end. It's another one that's just a
Isn't China
phenomenal-
Girl on that one too?
It is. China
Yeah,
Girl's
That's a
on
good
this.
tune as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those albums that you could put on and, like, you can't help but want to dance to it. Like, Let's Dance comes on, you're, like, tuned in, you
It's
know?
another one of those perfect pop records.
Oh, yeah. And it's such a, like, encompassing the 80s. That's when I was looking at these, like 1983, there's so many hits that if you put on like hits of the 80s or whatever, how many songs came out of 83 from these different albums that can encapsulate a huge part of the decade, and they're all from this year. I mean, it's
Right.
just amazing. So,
Yeah.
but shout out to Bowie. I love Bowie, and this album's great.
Oh
It
yeah.
is.
What do you think
Agreed.
of his Black Star album? Did you like that?
I like it
I
too.
tried into the. It was a
I
parting
loved it.
gift. It was a parting gift from him because I mean I'm sure he knew he was sick when he was doing
yeah,
that,
of course.
obviously.
That
And
video.
I think it's just such an amazing thing for someone to be able to pull off an album like that before passing. I've listened to it. I like a handful of tracks on it. I got to be honest that there's a handful that I'm like, but we were on a long road trip. The last time I listened to it all the way through, we were driving to Minneapolis. So I was like, you know what? We're on this like super ridiculous, boring part driving through
Yeah.
Wisconsin, and put that on and just kind of tune out and stare at the trees and stuff. So
Yeah,
I mean,
Bowie
he's
was cool.
incredible.
I mean, then he comes out with Tin Machine, which was freaking awesome. Dude.
His
Oh,
whole-
Tin Machine rules.
Man, was
his
just
whole
amazing.
like everything about him, he's such an alien. I always talk about that in different shows where I'm like, you know, you want to think that someone who comes to Earth, like comes Earthside and just blows people's minds and like changes the way we think about music or changes the scene, or just as a human, him being bizarre and his everything he did, he just was an alien, you know, he's just out of this world, amazing. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of put him up there on the same level as I put like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Freddie
'cause
Mercury. I always
Freddie
put Hendrix
Mercury-
up there, like someone who just blows people's minds.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
All
your
right.
number three?
My number 3 is going to be Ozzy, Bark at the Moon. I was really into this album. I was a huge Randy Rhoads fan, so I was kind of at that time already. So I was curious to see what this was going to sound like with a new guitar player. Jake Lee didn't let me down. I love Jake Lee, one of my favorite guitar players ever. And I played the hell out of this album, man, as a kid and during this time. So still got this tape too somewhere. And Rock and Roll Rebel, man. I mean, like the title track, Center of Eternity was awesome. Waiting
Love
for
Center of
Darkness.
Eternity on that album.
Yeah, Center of Eternity is like the centerpiece, like the, you know, the epic, you know, song, you know. So Now You See It, Now You Don't, great rocker. I mean, it was a great album. Doesn't compare to the first two, but it's still one of my.
It
when I
holds up.
really-
It really does.
It's
Up
really
for
when I
sure.
first. That's really when Ozzy I really started really love Ozzy, because I was too young to really kind of understand the Randy Rhoads albums yet. I wasn't really. It wasn't until this time when I was starting to discover. It was like right before this I discovered the Crazy Train and all that stuff. So, but this album I played a lot, when it came out. So, gotta be in my list, number 3.
Yeah, that's a very good album. I
Great
really-
album. And what a killer video. Title track. What a killer video.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that title track
Yeah.
is just
Yeah, it was
so-
like Ozzy's first video too. His first.
One
concept.
of my favorite guitar solos in an Ozzy song is Bark at the Moon.
Yeah, Jake's no joke, man.
This not Diary of a Madman. I mean,
No, but this was really a good album. I really did like Bark at the Moon. And
Yeah.
to do a vinyl battle between that and Born Again would be very interesting.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good one
It would
because
be
that's
really
two solid albums that everybody had.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that
That's
would
gonna
be a
next
good one.
Wednesday's show.
that would
There
be a
you
good
go.
one. Good
It's
Lord.
made up for you. You got it.
Yeah,
I want in on that. Born Again versus Bark at the Moon. I want in on that.
Okay, then that'll be next Wednesday because I didn't have anything for next Wednesday. So now that's vinyl battle. We'll go
Right, there
track
we
by
go.
track.
And I'm
I
off
could-
Wednesday and Thursday. So
So you want? What do you want? What are we
So
doing?
when you're
next
hungover
Jerry?
Thursday, you'll be all right.
yeah.
Jerry, what are we doing next Thursday? Isn't it with Dr. Fuck?
Yeah, Ralph.
Judas
Judas
Priest?
Priest.
Yeah, we could bring Bushy on that one.
Wait, let me know where he got his PhD. I'm questions.
The School of Fuckonomics.
My number 3 has been talked about, and probably will be talked about later on as well. But Pyromania, Def
Yep.
Leppard. I remember I had the cassette. I still have the cassette. In fact, this is those albums that I've got the cassette, CD, and album. You know that all three. But Rock Till You Drop. I think Mark played that for me on my
Last night.
block last night. That I fell asleep before I was able.
Did a
to
double shot actually. What else did you do? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a double shot. It was that and Saturday
Yeah,
night.
High and
Dry,
Dry.
right, yeah.
Saturday night.
High and Dry. Yeah, but this was, man, I loved Photograph. That was one of my favorite songs. It probably still is, but Stage Fright was good too. Stage Fright had that multiple. Oh well, not that multiple. It had that Mutt Lang feel to it all. You know,
Stage Fright
all
just
that.
has a great memory for me when I saw them open when they did this Stereo tour,
yeah.
where they just had a curtain around it and it fucking he started screaming. I said, "Welcome to my show," and the drums kick in and the house lights go on, the curtain falls down. It was just amazing.
Stage Fright and Rock Till You Drop, and Nate had mentioned Die Hard the Hunter. This is just a great song, great
Yeah,
album.
love it.
Yeah.
And
Too Late for Love.
yeah, and still
Yeah.
it's played regularly.
Me too.
Well, this is one that I still listen to. Pretty good. Number 2, Jerry.
Well, it's been talked about a lot, so we won't spend too much time on it. I mean, this definitely belongs on your top 10 list, in my opinion.
It does, yeah.
I mean,
You're right.
but we've talked about it a million times. Let's move it on.
Nate, what's your number 2?
All right, that's fair. My number 2 is not Kill 'Em All.
Slayer.
Calm down, sugar tits. No, Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, man. It's probably one of the most perfect metal albums of all time. I mean, from those opening eerie things that are going on and in the beginning to the end of the album, you know, you got Danger, you got Bastard, you know, the title track, Shout at the Devil. And Shout at the Devil, when I play Shout at the Devil on my radio show, I play in the beginning because those two things need to be played together.
Well, definitely.
Much like
I do
Hellion
the
the
same thing.
Electric Eye. Yeah, it's got to
Do the
be
same
done.
thing. Like
I,
last
I
night.
love a lot of Motley Crue. Okay, I'm kind of, I give Motley Crue a pass. I think Theater of Pain's a good album. I don't think it's a great album,
I do
I
too.
love it.
but I think it's a good album, and I like probably 90% of it. Girls, Girls, Girls. You guys heard me on Rock All Over You podcast. I got raped, brutalized, sodomized.
Yeah, I wish I was there to defend you.
Because I love that album so much. Dr. Feelgood, you can't argue with the popularity, but Shout at the Devil is the quintessential perfect Motley Crue album. They were at their peak and did not have too much Jack and heroin in their arms just yet. You know what I mean? Great album.
They were so hungry on that album.
Oh yeah, they wanted to make it.
Yeah.
Great album.
What's your number 2, Mark?
I think it's already been covered here. What's this hat say? Night Ranger. Night Ranger, freaking.
Only by me. Oh, I think Jerry picked this.
Jerry
right?
had
Yeah, I
it.
picked it.
Yeah, you
Midnight,
and
yeah, somebody
Jerry.
picked it early. Midnight
Uh-huh.
Madness.
Look at Kate. You can tell she's sober.
What?
Midnight Madness.
Because I couldn't
fucking-
remember who the other one was.
Fucking great fucking album, melodic, fucking dual guitar leads. Jack Blades, dude. I love that guy. Damn Yankees, fucking Sean Blades, fucking his 2 solo albums. Fucking amazing if you guys don't have Rock and Roll Ride or his first solo album. Fucking amazing guy, dude. I don't like his son's album, Colin Blades, but I
You
think
like the
Colin was
Revolution
producing-
Saints albums he was on?
No, I didn't like that.
I do. I like them.
Because he's not singing. I need some Jack. His voice is just like, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's like when I hear
Well, dude,
Jack,
that
it's
drummer-
just ear candy.
Fucking Journey's
You're
drummer's
Kennedy.
a singer on that, right?
See, I like my
His
Night
name
Ranger when it's
Newcastle
called
Nova.
Damn Yankees, because I think Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades harmonizing is
They're
one of the most
amazing
beautiful
together.
things I ever heard.
Dude, Night
What the
Ranger.
fuck is that guy's name? I can't think of it. Journey's
Dean
drummer.
Castronovo.
Dude,
Yeah,
yes,
he's
no,
singing
you
that
said
out.
his name.
Dean.
He's got a great voice, man.
I don't like Revolution Saints. He sounds like Peter Criss to me.
He sounds more like Steve
Well,
Perry than Steve
look, you
Perry.
just
sounds
go
like
out
Peter-
of your room there, son. Peter Criss is like the greatest singer in Kiss. You just fucking leave.
Absolutely.
He has that
150%.
rough Rod Stewart-y.
That's what's so
frickin'
cool about
Peter
it.
Chris. I don't like that. I only like Rod Stewart in like limited amount of Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not right for hard rock or heavy metal or, for Kiss music. I don't think that's the right fit.
Peter
for
Criss isn't a good what?
I don't
Black
like Peter
Diamond?
Chris's voice.
Come on. Oh, his vocals in that song are
Like
Okay,
the
Black
greatest
Diamond
Kiss
is-
song of all time?
Black Diamond is good, but I don't like Beth.
You like
don't-
that? Come on.
I don't like Hard Luck
Nobody
Woman.
likes Beth.
Hard Luck Woman. I
Hard
don't
Luck
like
Woman's
Hard
a
Luck-
good tune, man. I
Wait,
like
wait,
that.
wait. Peter Criss sang Black Diamond?
Yes.
Yes.
He co-sings.
Oh, I
it.
didn't know
He
that was
co-sings
Yeah,
good. And
yeah.
Baby-
Paul
Baby-
introed. Paul
Yeah.
introed the thing.
Baby
And then
Driver.
but Peter
was great.
Chris does it. Yeah,
Oh,
Baby Driver's
Baby
great.
Driver's a good song. It is.
Baby Driver. Yeah, I
Nothing to
like-
lose.
Dirty
His
Living.
vocals on that song are phenomenal too.
But
Hell
when
yeah.
Peter Chris gets me irritated more than any Kiss singer, so that's why.
I never knew he sang all those songs, so I take
Yeah,
back what I said.
Yeah, but I can't stand
Yes,
Beth,
yes, yes.
Beth or Hard Luck Woman. That's my number 2, Night Ranger. That album's fucking. I'm still playing that shit.
I'm actually kind of mad at it. Put Night Ranger's nowhere on my list. And after you guys started telling me the songs that were on that record, 'cause I just looked at it by title. Because, like I said, I committed to this Sunday, and I'm like,
You
got
can
drunk.
still Rockin' America should have been on your list. That album.
Well, yeah, I'm saying Sister Christian's like my favorite Night Ranger song
Oh, that's
because
a
I'm a
great song.
casual Night Ranger fan. Okay,
Same here.
Yeah, you need to listen to and the band played on their last.
like I said, I
album.
like Night
Amazing.
Ranger better when it's called Damn Yankees.
Have you heard the last 4 Night Ranger albums?
No, Mark, what did I just say?
I finally got Jerry into those last 4 Night Ranger albums, and he loves
They are
them
good.
now.
I have to admit it, man.
He
They are
talks to
fucking
you a lot more. I try to avoid you. I'll be listening to U2 and Rush next week. I don't want to do it.
Well, he
Dude,
plans to do like 30 different things he'll send you after the show, so you have to kind of
Yeah.
listen. You have to watch.
Dude,
it, so.
it took me 4 years to get Jerry into fucking that shit. Okay.
I had to catch up with all the shit that you sent me, man.
Kate,
You, gotta,
what's your number 2?
you have to have a stronger constitution, sir. Miss Kate, you go.
All right. My number 1 and number 2 were real tough, but by how many times I've listened to each one, Speaking in Tongues, Talking Heads, number 2, great album,
Burning down the house, baby.
It's a great
dude.
album, man.
Burning Down the House, like
Making flippy floppy.
one of my favorite Talking Heads songs all time. This Must Be the Place. Like that was probably the only time I can think of legit fangirl crying seeing something played live, but I was 2 Long Island iced teas down. But he did that tour in 2019. I got to see him. He came here to Detroit and played the Fox. Phenomenal. I love Talking Heads. I love David Byrne. All of the People solo stuff has a place in my heart. This tour helped us get the beautiful gift that is Stop Making Sense, because this is the tour they were supporting in 83 when they recorded it. Stop Making Sense film drops in 84. It's amazing. If you've never seen it, please watch it.
Great concert.
Phenomenal
It's great.
concert.
The freaking big shoulders.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine. I'm like, if I could sell an organ, if I could sell a kidney to like build a time machine and go back in time to see that, I would.
I'm just wondering if David Byrne was a Peter Gabriel Genesis fan in the 70s.
Maybe I can see how you have that in your head of like some of the
Yeah.
parallels and kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
think especially like when he's doing more like his acoustic stuff,
Yeah.
I would think of. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know. Peter Gabriel was out there sometimes. Man, his
He
costume
gets
Oh,
was
he's
weird,
weird.
dude. I love that. What's the one with the music video where he has the train driving around his
Oh.
head?
Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer.
Yeah,
Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer, dude. I said that'd be a sweet costume for a Halloween costume. Just have that.
Oh,
That's
your
the only
Halloween
thing you
costume.
need to
You and, your,
wear.
you and your fiance's Halloween costume.
Oh my God. I'm
Those are
like
the best.
crazy, pretty crazy about Halloween costumes. And speaking of the big suit, that's on the list. It hasn't occurred yet, but I've wanted to do that for a decade, and it's going to happen sooner or later.
I don't know which one's my favorite, Married with Children or the Forrest Gump.
Yeah. This
love
year
those
we
two.
did we were the wet/sticky bandits from Home Alone this
Yeah,
year.
that was
And
really
then
good
Nice.
too.
that one was really fun. I
Yeah.
got a kick out of that one. It was really good to do. But yeah, him as Peg from Married with Children is probably my favorite because it's the funniest.
Yeah.
But my funniest, I think, is
must
me
not have
as
you on
Lieutenant Dan.
Facebook because that's hilarious. Because
Oh,
Home
man.
Alone's like my favorite Christmas movies.
Oh,
Next
I'll
to
send you a
Christmas
picture.
Story.
Yeah. Yeah,
You need
we
to
have
add.
the tall.
You need to add her, Nate.
Yeah, I'll friend you. We have the tall short thing going, so I try to play that up as much as possible.
Yeah.
So that's I was Al, he was Peg in that one, and that one's his funniest. And then I was Lieutenant Dan, and he was Forrest Gump, and the other one, that one's probably my
Lieutenant Dan.
funniest
That's
one.
hilarious.
Yeah, but the thing, you get this going, and then you have to top it every year, and it's stressful.
Did you sit down on your legs for Lieutenant Dan, or what did you do?
No, so for Lieutenant Dan, I had that wheelchair.
Right.
I took the pair of pants and I cut holes so my legs would fit through them and
Okay.
tied the knots, and I had black leggings on and black socks and black shoes. And when I'm sitting in those pictures, I just have my feet under the chair.
Nice.
So
Oh,
it's all smoke and mirrors in that one.
Oh, okay. Because I was all like, "Where are her legs?"
Yeah, dude. So the
I was
funniest
like,
thing
Perplexed.
the funniest thing about that costume, so like all my record buddies, like I have all these record sales groups and all this.
Yeah.
I had one of my record friends convince my other record friend that I really didn't have legs. And then they had this like 5 or 6 month thing of thinking that I didn't have legs, and they were really weird towards me. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And my friend's like, all right, we have to break the ice. Do you have legs? And I'm like, yeah.
They're all like,
So it was
they're
a
like,
real
"I just
convincing
bought the album
costume.
from that wheelchair girl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. They're like gonna hold a benefit for me or something.
Oh, that's great.
I've stolen valor. I'm
don't
not a
got no
veteran
legs,
and I'm
Lieutenant
not an
Dan.
amputee.
Did you already say your number 2? Yes.
Sorry, yeah.
Talking heads. What's your number 2?
My number 2, Bushy, hit on all the right notes on this already. Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, peak Motley Crue. My favorite album by them. Their look, they had that evil kind of aura about them at the time, and it was just like perfect band at the time. And some people can consider this another gateway album, but I mean, you have to be pretty much into metal already, kind of be into this album. So I mean, it was a hit, So, but MTV was playing "Looks Like Hill" and all that stuff. So I mean, it was like one of those albums where I kept a little hidden from my parents, based on the
Especially
album
just
cover
the
and all that
title.
stuff, so.
Yeah, well, if you think back to Metal Health, it had poppy elements. So
Yeah.
I mean, it had loud, crunchy guitars, but it had poppy elements. Man, Shout was dark. It was just dark. There's a lot of dark subject matter on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Great record.
Yeah, some people don't give enough credit to Nikki Sixx's lyrics, man. I mean, if you really read his lyrics, dude, I mean, he wrote some really dark, twisted shit, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
it
it's almost, it kind of reminds me of early Cheap Trick, the Rick Nielsen, like the lyrics that he wrote. I mean, when you have those lyrics being sung to a backdrop of like kind of like a more kind of upbeat, poppier,
with a happy
kind of-
melody.
melody and stuff like that, people tend to not listen to the lyrics as much. But if you really
Right.
read those lyrics, they're fucked up, man. Some of that shit. So
Yeah, Motley didn't care. They were just telling you.
yeah. So
Knock
But
'em
yeah,
dead, kid. That was about the LAPD. I
Yeah.
mean, it was there was just a lot of shit going on in that record. It's a great
Bastard.
record.
Bastard was,
It's
I love
it's kind of like. I'm sorry.
I love Mick Mars's guitar tone on this album too. I mean, it's
Yep.
pretty rude and crude and awesome. So yeah, that's my number 2.
It's great. It's a
played the
great
hell out of
choice,
this
Al.
album.
I'm with you.
That is a great choice. I picked it as my number 10. So
Yeah, you were wrong.
but
It was my number 7. It was my number 7. at least.
anyone's could be higher. So
For years I've thought somewhere in time my Iron Maiden Side 2 was the beginning of their prog metal movement.
Don't do that.
But this
Don't
week,
do that, Andy, because I'll never be able to listen to that album again.
on number 2, this week when I heard Peace of Mind, which is my number 2 by Iron Maiden,
Revelations.
you can hear the prog coming out of them. You
Yep.
really can.
Now
Yep.
I hate Iron
You
Maiden.
can really start to hear the lyrics being stretched out. The songs are getting longer, especially on side 2.
Yeah.
It really starts to stretch it out. This is where they started to separate themselves from everybody else on the radio or on MTV. They were not following anybody else. Iron Maiden was doing Iron Maiden, and that's why they're one of the best bands of all time, because they stuck to their guns. They knew what they wanted to do, and they did it. And millions and millions of fans around the world went ahead and followed them through their ride. So my number 2 is going to be Peace of Mind.
I gotta tell you, Andy. Like I said, Peace of Mind flip flops with me with Somewhere in Time, and quit throwing that prog thing into it, so I don't hate it.
True.
What do you like? Seventh Son of a Seventh Son?
I like
really
that album
prog.
too. It is very proggy. But
Really prog.
you know, everybody says how Metallica is the biggest metal band in the world, and they are arguably correct.
Yeah.
But what I will say is Iron Maiden. And I know that the last couple albums, you know, to the die-hard Maiden fans, they don't like it because I
liked it.
I don't need a 20-minute song. I don't like that shit. It annoys me. But it's still quality albums. But Maiden is still they don't do clubs, they don't do arenas, they do stadiums everywhere.
And they're bigger around the world than they are here in America.
Well,
Right.
they do-
Well,
they
that's
do
because
arenas
America
here.
sucks.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
agree with you. America sucks.
You know, it's the greatest country in the world with absolutely no fucking taste.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they're not loyal to their music. They move on to the next big thing.
Yeah, they're
always
trend to trend to trend.
Trend
Look
to
at
trend.
TikTok. There's a new
But
trend
we
every
move
other
too
day.
Fast. We move too fast.
For real.
That's the problem.
I just don't get TikTok, man. Some dude talking on the video, it's got like 10,000 views. He's just sitting there, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you're watching the wrong TikToks. Look, there's girls wearing not much.
I knew you were gonna say
that.
Dude, on my
you can
TikTok, I
flick
go
through a
on
couple
there
of
and there's girls
things.
bouncing all the time. I go, why are these girls bouncing? I don't want to see this. I'm here for music and promoting
But they're
Freeform.
just lip syncing shit. And
Oh,
they get
so
like
it's just
10,000
me?
views.
I'm just there to see girls bouncing.
I
I
guess
was gonna
so.
say they're popping up in your algorithm for a reason, there, Mark.
No, I'm not even. I don't know because I like metal channels. That's probably why.
Yeah, metal's got
Yeah,
the thing of having like hot broads, so that's
So why I keep getting these girls, and then I keep
Yeah.
like saying, "Stop showing me this shop." Yeah.
Oh, what a
Yeah,
wuss.
it's such a
I'm
big
like, show me
Up,
more
up,
like
up,
this.
up,
Show me
up,
more
up,
like
up.
this. Like, I don't even know what a ooh-woo girl is, but I like looking at them. That's what I know.
Well, you hear
I'm
that thing? What
sorry,
is that?
Kate. I'm probably offensive at times.
You aren't scaring me off, man.
I don't have much of a filter,
No, I do not care.
and I appreciate
You
the
know that
female
thing where,
body.
where all the girls do? They go big, 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 and then they get tighter clothes or
Dude,
bikinis.
and I will stay there the whole time, waiting to see. And I like when they go boom.
The pistol
I
pop
love that
ones?
shit.
The pistol pop ones, I've seen a couple of those, yeah. Make it pop, make it pop. Make that pistol pop, pop.
Oh, it's great.
All right, guys. What's y'all's number 1? Let's go. Jerry, your number 1 album for 19.
They're busy
I mean,
talking about broads.
If y'all know me, you should know this is going to be my number 1. I almost forgot it, actually. And I can't believe I did because this album's my second favorite album of all time.
I knew it.
Yes, 90125.
Yep.
Don't care what any of y'all say. This is the best Yes album.
I like
Best
the
guitar player. He makes Steve Howe look foolish. Trevor Rabin is one of the best guitar players out there.
I like talk.
There's not a
I like
bad
talk
song.
better now.
Well,
Andy's covering his ears.
Hearts maybe is a little of a letdown song, but every
I
other
like
song
Hearts.
on that album freaking rules, man.
You were on the podcast when we reviewed it, Jerry. You know I like
The best
Hearts.
lineup of Yes. I mean,
Yes, exactly.
by far. And I've owned this out. I must have had like 30 copies of this cassette,
Wow.
CD,
Yep, me too.
album. I don't know what the fuck happened to him, but I still, had this one for a while now. But yeah, this is my no doubt number 1. Sorry. I mean,
Wow.
Oh, I knew you were going to pick that because we were talking about it in the beginning. I know what your number 1 is, Jerry.
Mhm.
yeah. And I almost forgot
You said you almost forgot it. I knew that was going to be it.
an
right
hour
there.
before the show. What the fuck am I thinking of? Yeah.
And I told you it wasn't going to be my number 1. So
I mean,
It could be because I love that. I listen to that album freaking like once a month.
Best album, best lineup of Yes, in my opinion.
Trevor Rabin rules.
Absolutely.
Nate, what's your number one for 1983?
Oh, it should be very predictable. Very predictable. Because there were so many good metal albums that year. And a lot of it have been touched on. One of them hasn't.
Huh.
The one that hasn't is not my number one. Dude, come on. I'm a ride or die fucking Kiss fan, and Lick It Up. Are you kidding me? As far as I'm concerned, there's only one piece of shit you could take off that record, and that's All Hell's Breaking Loose. I don't know why Paul Stanley was trying to rap. It didn't work. I didn't like that. But you take the rest of that, that is a solid album.
Absolutely.
From front to back. Exciter is like
Not for the Innocents, my
greatest
favorite,
song. Not for the Innocents. Dude, people like shit on, and on the Eighth Day is probably my favorite song on the record. It's just a dynamite record. It was Kiss Unmasked for the first time. Absolutely amazing. I've been a Kiss fan. I had Hotter Than Hell on 8-track. I was living in Nuremberg, Germany, so I was in kindergarten. So I've been a Kiss fan for a long, long time. Lick It Up is just such a powerhouse of a record.
It was.
And me being a Kiss fan, look, I know Metallica. I know Iron Maiden. I know Dio. I know. But I cannot turn my back on my boys. You wanted the best. You got them. Kiss.
Awesome.
Mark, what's your number one album?
Yeah, top that, Mark.
Well, I think my number one album is kind of like you guys. Most of you guys have all picked this album, so I think this is the number one album of, if you go by stats and shit.
Def Leppard.
Def Leppard, Pyromania. No. That is my gateway album to hard rock. Even though I had Foreigner, it wasn't like riffage like this. It wasn't like these major fucking solos just screaming. And it's like, ooh, I want to hear more of this. Wait, there's Motley Crue Shout at the Devil. Wait, I like that Quiet Riot shit now. Damn, this is fucking cool. And then I'm getting into fucking Dio and Black Sabbath and Metallica. And it's like, from there, it's like, I constantly listen to this album. I love Hysteria. I like the new album. I fucking love, they're a great band to see live. I'd see them live as many times as I can until they fucking croak. Fucking great band. Def Leppard, my number one.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Kate, what is your number one album?
All right, it was only mentioned once in this whole thing.
Oh.
It's Violent Femme, self-titled, debut.
I knew you would pick that, Kate.
Oh, I love Violent Femme so much.
We talked about them before.
Yeah, I think I might have had this on one of our our favorite debut albums. Probably I talked about this because this, I don't even know. I'd have to like send away to NASA to calculate how many times I've listened to this album.
So good.
It's so damn good, dude. They're like top 5 songs when you pull them up on any streaming. 4 out of the top 5, which the top 4 are all songs off this album. And I don't know. I mean, like, they can kill it on a xylophone. I've seen them live, and they're just murdering with a Weber grill and a Whamola, and they just are so damn good. And they're bizarre and loud and in your face, and I don't know. I don't have enough words. I get too cranked up about things, and then I can't even speak. But they're just one of my favorite bands ever. They're phenomenal live. If you've never seen them, please go see them live.
I never have. I want
to
so bad.
I've seen them 3 times, and every time they're just melt your face.
This is why I got mad, because I saw them once and they were boring. They just
you
stood
said
there.
that, and I was like, I cannot. They must have been in a fight or drunk or
Universal
hungover.
Amphitheater. They was like,
I can't believe they were bad.
I was so
They
excited
just,
to see them, and I was like, God.
Man.
I
Yeah.
just
It's
know
like
that
watching
one
paint
song.
dry.
I just know that one song.
You know, Blister in the Sun.
That's the only
Listen
one
to
I
this
know.
album.
Dude,
Listen,
Add It Up is
listen to
good.
this.
Please
Gone
don't
Daddy
go.
Gone when they
I
play
love
the
I
damn
love
xylophone.
Violent Femmes.
Dude, probably my favorite song by them isn't actually on this. I think American Music is probably my favorite song by them, which isn't on this, but they just Jerry, listen to this. It's so freaking good. And
What
it's
al-
so varied in how the music sounds, that it's not all like Blister in the Sun. It's all over the place.
What
like,
album
that's what's
did-
so cool.
Did Jerry Harrison produce number 3 by them?
There's, I think 3. 'Cause that one gets a lot darker. If you
I
listen
like
to
that
that
one a lot.
that one's really weird and bizarre. And this, like, I actually was gonna bring that up because that See My Ships, and they talk about like Marvin Gaye getting shot by his dad and stuff. Like, See My Ships is super dark, but like haunting and beautiful in some weird way.
Femmes are great. I'm glad to hear someone else likes them.
Oh,
I like
love
them
that.
too. I have
They're
that
one of my
album. I
favorite
love 'em.
bands, man. And then, like, speaking of Jerry Harrison, he's going on tour. I'd like to see him. He doesn't have a Detroit
Adrian
date.
Belew,
I might do Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh is the closest, I think, to me.
He's touring with Adrian Belew.
Send me
right?
some of those
Yeah,
album titles.
Adrian
from 'em. I'll
Blue.
listen to
Yeah.
them.
Hey,
Yeah,
we
Jerry,
just-
I'll send you a link to. What do you do for streaming? Would you rather do YouTube? I can send you a link for this, but it's just their self-titled. It's their debut, and I think, damn if that isn't a killer debut album. I mean, it's just,
When you think of a debut,
Woo!
Kate, I gotta say, front to back,
this is another like soup to nuts through and through.
yeah,
Where you're like,
perfection.
amazing
It's just
album.
good.
Kiss
And there's
Off,
no electric
man.
guitars. It's acoustic
Dude.
as fuck, dude. But it
And
rocks.
xylophone, to like be murdering with a xylophone and having like killer licks. I don't even. You can't. Can you call it a lick on a xylophone? I don't even know. But damn if it isn't great. I just
Great
love this
stuff.
album so much. So yeah, my number one. Sorry, I'm gonna be like ranting forever. So Al,
No, you're okay. You're
number
my new
one.
Fred, Kate, because I don't. I didn't even know Mark. I didn't even know Mark liked the Violent
I love
Femmes.
Violent Femmes.
Yeah, dude.
I think I saw them on that dark album. Maybe that's why they were up there all moody.
That
Yeah.
one's pretty bizarre. 3 is like
Maybe that's why
really
they were weird.
Yeah, maybe
What was that
that's why
cut
they
they
were
did
weird.
on the Crow soundtrack? Because that was kind of different for them.
Oh
Yeah,
crap.
they were on the soundtrack.
Hang on,
I
it'll
don't
come
know
to
why.
me. I just listened to that not long ago. That soundtrack kicks
That
ass.
sounds good.
Oh, that
It's
is
so
brutal.
weird
That
and,
Cure
like-
song's amazing on
Yeah,
there.
dude, that's all over the place. But what a great soundtrack!
Yeah. Stone Temple Pilots.
I'll get back to you with the Crow one. I can't think of what it is,
Because
but
I
yeah,
can't think of it without looking it up. But.
yeah, I'm gonna have to. It might come to me. I'll wait and I'll not Google it. But Al, what's your number one, man?
Yeah.
Iron Maiden, Peace of Mind.
Ah, yeah,
Yes.
it's so good.
I mean, opens up with Where Eagles Dare is like one of the best openers on a Maiden album.
Yeah.
Revelations is probably arguably my favorite Iron Maiden song.
Prog
probably of
rock.
all time.
Good song.
Love that song so much. Flight of Icarus, Die With Your Boots On. I mean, come on, man. The Trooper,
Trooper.
classic.
Trooper.
You know, To Tame a Land. I mean, just I mean,
That's
Nico came.
that- Quest for
Nickel
Fire,
Cage-
that's on there too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quest for Fire, Still Life. Son
Oh,
of
Still
Steel.
Life. What a beautiful song.
Yeah. So Nickel comes in on this one and plays great. Clive is still my favorite drummer though, because Number of the Beast was the first Iron Maiden album I ever got, so that's still my favorite. But this was a great follow up to that, and solidified Bruce in the band really. So
Those
his
first
vocal
6 or 7
performances-
Maiden albums are, boy,
Unbelievable.
take your pick.
Yeah, they're
Mhm.
untouchable, man. They're untouchable.
Yeah.
They rule.
Dude, even
They ruled
seeing
the
them-
80s, man.
When I just saw them, they still are killing it. And like, how old's Dickinson? Like 63, like
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
saw
running
them
his
too.
know.
ass
Great.
off.
Mark posted a video with some dude with a lightsaber. You know, that
Oh, there was a
Oh, that's
lightsaber in
funny.
the pit. Yeah, he was in the pit.
Oh my god, that's
What,
funny.
doing
I'm
a
surprised
lightsaber.
they let him in with it.
everybody was
And
getting out
Bruce,
of the way. And
Bruce
shit, like a big
Dickinson was
circle.
making fun of Anaheim and Disneyland. I was going, nice.
I just like one of
You
my
could do
favorite
anything
things.
at an Iron Maiden concert but smoke weed.
That's true.
There were a bunch
Oh yeah,
of
I
stoners
smoked.
at
We
Maiden,
smoked
dude.
weed in a car.
I was at what is it, Little Caesars Arena, and there were a ton of people smoking weed around us. It was crazy. Like,
Hey, you
that
might,
was
catch
Bob
a,
Marley.
you might catch a guitar, man. You never know.
I was at the
Yeah.
show, and
Yeah, that
a
guy's slinging the guitar. Whew.
that guy jumped up
Oh,
on
Yannick
stage.
Gers, yeah.
Yeah,
The guy jumped up on stage, and Bruce went like this to him. Come here, come here.
yeah,
And he
classic.
grabbed him and threw him in the back. But Yannick Gears, when I was watching, I said, "Does he play?" He's just
He's
sitting
just
there, not even touching
flipping
the
the
guitar.
guitar.
He's just flipping the guitar.
That's funny. Yeah, I just love one of my
That's-
favorite things about this when they did Flight of Icarus, and Bruce has 2 flamethrowers and he has to holster one of
Okay.
them to get his mic out of the holster. And he's just switching that back and forth. I'm like, man, this is amazing.
great.
Well, what other singer throws flames on stage? Come
Dude, the whole set was
Hey,
just
Gene Simmons breathes them.
on. Okay, but he's got 2 fucking flamethrowers in his
yeah.
hand.
If you have to holster a flamethrower to grab your mic, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
I tell you what band has the most flames was Ramstein, man. When I saw them over the summer,
That I saw some
Holy
clips
shit, I
from
saw a
yours
video of their
and
concert.
from
Oh
other
my
people
God.
that I know who saw that.
Ridiculous.
Like, woo!
It
Like
looked
you probably
awesome.
had to stand like 200 yards away to not
They
lose
have-
your eyebrows.
all the pyro and all that shit that they do, they have to play a stadium because they need something with no roof because it's just ridiculous, man. You know,
That's
But
another
you
one
don't
of
want
those
anyone to
bands that I really
asphyxiate.
like and want to see is Rammstein, man. I've liked them since they dropped
Check
because
out-
they were so different. You know,
Yeah,
mixing
check
metal with techno, I thought was insane.
check out my YouTube
His
channel,
YouTube,
man.
he's got it.
I taped the whole show here in New Jersey, so
Oh shit!
yeah, you can check it
I
out.
haven't even seen your
It's
YouTube
some
yet.
crazy
link,
shit,
link it
man.
to me, Al, because I haven't even seen it. I looked for it, I couldn't find it.
All right, no
He has
problem.
tons of good concerts posted.
Yeah, he
man.
does.
Yeah.
The
It'll
Carl
give, my
Palmer one.
it'll give my daughter a reason to bitch all weekend.
The Carl, my
What
Carl
are you
Palmer-
listening to? Shut up.
My Carl
How old
Palmer
is your
vid-
daughter, Nate?
17.
My
17.
my Carl Palmer video got taken down by YouTube.
Huh.
Ugh.
Yeah, it got flagged.
Got pinched.
Yeah,
Go to BitChute.
I gotta be
You can put
careful,
anything
man.
on BitChute.
yeah. I'm gonna start an account on BitChute, put stuff on there. So I gotta watch YouTube, man, because if you get a strike, you gotta wait 90 days.
Yeah.
You can't get 3 strikes. You can get your account taken down.
Wow.
So-
Yeah, that's.
I haven't got any yet.
Go to
It just
BitChute because Dr. Fuck, a lot of his, because he does a lot of remixes of, making his own music videos.
Yeah,
And that stuff will get taken right off of YouTube, but it's over there on BitChute.
yeah. Thanks. So that's my number 1. Maiden.
Great album. Great album.
Yep.
Who's next?
Andy,
Andy,
you're
I
on
can't
mute.
hear you. You're muted.
You're muted, Andy.
Thank you.
He does
Yeah.
that. He gets bored listening to us and he turns it off so he can talk shit about us. These motherfuckers are off topic.
It's the
These
it's the one of my
motherfuckers are
dogs. He
Iron
makes a
Maiden
very
and
loud
Kiss.
noise
Watch
when
shit.
he's scratching.
Thought this was my show.
My number 1 is Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil.
Yes.
Nice.
I remember the first time I heard that, it scared the hell out of me. First time I ever heard Helter Skelter, actually. I didn't know the Beatles did it.
Yeah, I said that. I said
Same,
that
same.
version's actually better than the Beatles version, in my opinion.
Well, most covers of the Beatles are better than the Beatles, but
Hey, watch it now.
Yeah. Yeah, after I heard the Beatles version, it was the better one to me. But this album had it all, and when Al was talking about it, he was talking about Nikki Sixx's writing about being so dark. It kind of reminds me of Appetite for Destruction, the way that they wrote about the street.
yeah.
The same way that this was as well, with this the Shout at the Devil. It was fantastic, and like Al said, they played the part with the makeup, with the leather, with the fire, with all sorts of shit. They did it
Yeah,
perfect.
skulls, the pentagrams.
Yeah.
It was well done for that era.
Straight out of the Road Warrior.
And
Yeah.
then
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mad
and then-
Max.
And then I love Theater of Pain, such a good album. But now they're wearing pink and they're wearing pastels. It was just a big switch because they'll never go back to the Shout at the Devil costumes now, But you believed in it. You were like, man, these dudes they're something else,
They lived the lifestyle.
Yeah. So and that album still holds number 1. It's still my favorite Motley Crue album, followed by Theater of Pain.
Mine too.
But that's also my number 1 for 1983. Let's go real quickly through our honorable mentions. Nice. Jerry.
Real quick, ZZ Top, Eliminator, Talking Heads, Speaking in Tongues, Pink Floyd, The Final Cut, Eurythmics, Touch, REM, Murmur, Dio, Holy Divers, Stones, Undercover, Huey Lewis, Sports, Ozzy, Bark at the Moon, Styx, Kilroy was here, Stevie Ray, Texas Flood.
That's
Slayer,
more than
Son of
5.
Mercy, Men at Work, Cargill, Elton John, Too Low for Zero. Sorry, there's too many of them not to leave.
No.
leave out.
I did.
No,
I
you
play
go
by the
ahead, Jerry.
rules. You never play by the rules. Jerry.
You go ahead, Jerry. It's all right.
That's it.
Nate.
I'm done.
Quiet
Where
Riot,
you
Metal
at?
Health, Slayer, Show No Mercy, Accept
Oh, yeah.
Balls to the Wall, Ozzy Bark at the Moon, Metallica Kill 'Em All, Dio Holy Diver, and Iron Maiden Peace of Mind. What a great year for fucking heavy metal.
Yeah, it really was.
It's a killer
Really
metal
was.
year, man.
Mark.
Fucking Aria, Murmur, Dio, Holy Diver, Iron Maiden, Peace of Mind, Police Synchronicity, Billy Idol, Rebel Yell, In Excess, Shabu Shabba. And the only reason why Police Synchronicity didn't make my list is because of Mother and Mrs. Gradenko.
And because
Those
you
two
knew one of
songs
you motherfuckers
horrible.
would pick it.
So, no, because those two songs it's not a perfect album because of those two songs and freaking I'm not trendy. I think Bruce Dickinson is the best singer of Iron Maiden. All you Diano fans out there, I think it's trendy to say Diano now. A few years ago, it wasn't. So I don't know.
To me, it will always be Bruce.
Bruce
it'll
to me,
It's
yeah.
always Bruce. That's like saying
Always.
anyone but Halford for Judas Priest. Get out of
It'll,
here.
it'll always be Blaze and Ripper for me, man. The two best.
Oh God.
Kick rocks.
No, but I'm just saying it just seems trendy.
And they're
Everybody's saying
both good
Diano
singers
now.
on their own.
I'm
They really
not
are.
saying anybody's not great, but come on.
But
I
Bruce-
like Paul Diano, but I think it's
Yeah.
a trendy thing to say now because nobody was saying that
Yeah.
10 years ago.
I was.
And I think a lot of people follow Dr. Fuck and just copy what he says too. So
That is true.
I love you,
I
Dr.
was
Fuck.
saying
I'm just
that
calling
for
him out.
A while, because those are some of Al's favorite albums. Were the first two.
Yeah, I know he's not trendy.
Yeah. Right.
So-
Al's writing a hate mail to someone right now.
Kate, what's your number 5? Your 5.
My 5,
Yeah.
so we mentioned Police, Robert Plant, somebody mentioned, Metallica's been mentioned. Shout out to Pointer Sisters Breakout. I think that's a good album. We did Maiden. How about Styx? Kilroy was here.
Oh,
That was on my honorable mention.
Yeah, I heard Jerry shout it out. Tom Waits, Swordfish Trombones.
Nice.
There you go, Tom
Oh, wow,
Waits.
yeah. Tom Waits.
Kate loves the Tom Waits.
I
Yeah.
love him. Yeah, that's somebody I'd love to see. I've never seen him, and that would be amazing. But what a weirdo! I like my weirdos. I had a lot of weirdos that I like, but
Mhm.
that yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good. That a few of them were already mentioned. I got a couple that weren't, but there's a lot of good albums this year, and like definitely
you must like Morrissey then.
I
No?
like. All right, so I don't like him as a human being.
Well, nobody
But that
should.
Queen is Dead, damn if that is not good. And his voice is stunning. And that album is freaking phenomenal. But he's a royal pain in the ass. I
all
don't like
all
him
the
as a
Smiths
person.
albums are great. I like the Smiths
That-
albums better than
Yeah,
solo.
there's so many good albums from the Smiths. And him then that, like, I listened to I had a really nice copy of it and just play testing it. And I was like, damn if this isn't a great album. So I do like him in that, but that's about it. Yeah, I think I'm good. I wanted to say the 83 to cover a couple things. Mario Brothers drops in Japan. First mobile phone. Last episode of MASH with 125 million
MASH,
viewers.
I watched that.
What
I
a
watched
great
that.
episode.
Could you imagine
Everybody
that?
Best show, best
125
show ever
million.
made.
I remember I watched it with
I
my
love
grandparents.
MASH.
That's
Yeah,
Star
I
Trek.
love
I'm
MASH.
sorry,
My
Jerry.
mom's
You're
a
wrong.
super big MASH person, so I dig MASH.
Trek.
Fraggle
I
Rock
like MASH, too.
debuts. Sally Ride's first female astronaut. So there's some big stuff happening in 83. First mobile phone. Pretty crazy year.
Is that like the one that looks like the brick?
Yeah,
no,
it's like a carry-on case.
Yeah, it's like a suitcase.
Yeah. Yep.
It
Yeah.
wasn't the,
Are we
exact
switching it up?
color.
Who's next? Al, you want to do yours?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Triumph, Never Surrender.
Oh, I fucking missed that album.
I missed it
Journey
too.
from
Oh god, that would have been in my top 10 easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I
Journey-
actually missed that. What it would have made my honorable mentions.
yeah, Journey Frontiers,
I got that one.
Saxon Power and the Glory,
Oh, that's a good one
Nice.
too.
Thin Lizzy Thunder and Lightning
Oh,
I'm surprised nobody had that. I thought that would be on somebody's top 10.
with the great John Sykes, Ramones Subterranean Jungle, Crocus Headhunter, their best
Oh,
album
dude.
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a good album.
You got Fastway's debut.
Oh,
got-
fuck.
You got the
It's
Kinks
a nice
State of
dome.
the Kinks State of Confusion.
I got that
which
on
is
vinyl.
I'm just rattling off a couple more here.
That Triumph hurt though.
yeah,
That would have
Yeah,
been
that
my top
one did.
10. That'd have been a
Suicide-
3, dude. I would have took Metallica out for Triumph right there.
Suicidal
I
Tendencies
wouldn't go that far.
first one.
Yeah, Suicidal
Oh,
Tendencies debut.
Oh, fuck.
Woo.
I just reviewed that
damn,
album too.
Forgot
That-
about that.
Yeah.
I
Great.
love that up. You know, we got to redo the top 10.
Um, Rainbow Bent Out of Shape.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Mhm.
The fuck was that?
The
Doc
dog.
That was my
Doc and
dog. I'm
Breaking the
sorry.
Chains. Doc and Breaking the Chains.
Ah,
Adam Ant Strip.
oh, that's a good one too. Adamant. I play that all
Hall-
the time.
Hall & Oates Rock and Soul Part 1.
Ah, that's a great set.
Yeah, that's a great album.
ACDC
The
Flick
better
of the-
Duran Duran.
Fuck you.
ACDC Flick of the Switch. Cheap
Yeah.
Trick. Cheap Trick Next Position Please.
I didn't like that album.
The debut EP by Queensryche. The debut EP by Rat. And that's
Armored
pretty
Saint.
much it. Billy Joel and Innocent Man. That's a good one too.
Armored
Yeah.
Saint.
Did anyone
Armored-
shout out Eurythmics? That's another one I
I
just
did.
thought
Touch.
of.
There you
I
go.
did. Touch.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
Armored Saints debut EP 83?
Oh, I don't remember that one.
I forgot about that one, but that one's
See,
awesome.
I didn't
too.
pick any EPs. So I was like,
I didn't
Triumph-
either.
it's not really an
Triumph
album.
was almost in my top 10. Triumph, but I was
Yeah.
I didn't get into Triumph until Thunder 7 the following year, so I wasn't really listening to Triumph.
No, I,
yet,
I was
so.
into Triumph on Never Surrender. That should have been my number 3 besides
Yeah.
before Metallica. But,
Mine are Police, Synchronicity, REM Murmur. Almost made my top 10. I was going back and forth on
That's a
Murmur.
great album.
Yeah.
me too. That was
Yeah.
in my top 10. I changed it.
Yeah.
Again, I
You
wasn't
too.
listening to REM at that time though, so
I
I
was.
didn't get into that album.
Yeah,
till
I
later.
didn't get into REM until like Shiny Happy People and shit, and losing my religion.
What's Document?
was
Document
out
when
of
I got
time.
into that.
Documents more when they picked up because that's more what it. mine-
Documents when I got into REM. That was
Yeah,
the
same
one
here.
I love. Finest Work song.
Green was the one for me.
No, that mine was Document. The last IRS album.
So I was old as hell to get to them, huh?
Yeah.
U2 War.
Nice.
Madonna's debut album, Madonna. I love
I
Madonna.
almost picked Madonna.
I was going to ask
Um,
you if she had an album in '83.
Yeah, first
that was
one.
the
Yeah,
debut.
debut album.
Also, Cyndi Lauper, She's So Unusual. She was
Oh
all
my
over the place
god!
that year.
Hey, does anybody need that on vinyl? I got a copy. I could send.
I got both of them on vinyl, dude. I'm
Uh,
so angry that I didn't even mention those
I've got-
albums.
I've got the Madonna on vinyl, but the Cyndi Lauper I gave it away, so I don't have it.
All right, so what fucking Culture Club album was out that year?
Color by
I'm a
Numbers.
chameleon one. What is that? Colors.
Color by
Color by
Numbers.
Numbers.
Oh, I
Color
hate.
by numbers.
Another great album.
I hate
Yeah.
Culture Club. Sorry.
AC/DC, Flick of the Switch. Frontiers by Journey. Men at Work, Cargo.
I was
Devil
gonna do that one too.
Eric Clapton's Money and Cigarettes. Cuts Like a Knife by Brian Adams.
Oh, that's a great one. That should have been on my top
Never
10.
Surrender by Triumph. Aldo Nova, Subject. I like that album too. Dawkins, Breaking the Chains, and Manfred Mann's Somewhere in Africa. I like that album.
I wanted to put Doc and Breaking the Chains in my top 10 because back then I didn't think that album was
I
that
knew
good.
that album was out there, but I don't think it's one of the best albums.
It wasn't one of their best.
It wasn't
No.
until Tooth and
It wasn't one
Nail.
of the best,
It wasn't
but
until
it
Tooth and Nail,
actually
yeah.
Well, see, that was my struggle with Metallica, getting them in my top 10. And I'm just like, it's not Ride the Lightning.
I was looking for a Striper album for that year.
Or
too.
or it's not, everything that was better after Dave Mustaine fired the whole band.
Okay, whatever. You can let that go now. It's like me letting Jerry go with his White Claw.
And the Duran Duran.
Oh,
All right, guys. Hey, thanks a lot for joining me tonight. Thanks for waiting. This was a great show.
Yeah, a
We
lot
had
of
some-
fun.
Yeah, we had some amazing albums this year. We all talked about them, and we all talked about why we liked the albums that we do. Tomorrow, we are going to be on the BS sessions, Mark, Jerry, and Charles Trainer, doing the same thing, but for 1991. The
That's gonna
top
be a good
11
one.
albums of 1991. That's just as important as 1983, if not more important in my book. The 1991 was hard for me.
A lot
I
of
was
metal
going
albums in
to-
'91, Bushy.
I'm going to have to look that up.
I could have done a top 30 in 1991.
And Kate, it was so nice to see you again finally.
I know. I
Long
miss you
time.
guys. I'm sorry I've been so busy. I miss you guys.
There was a Kate sighting, believe it or not.
I know. I've been trying to get back. It's been hard. We had a lot going on.
She actually
But
pisses my wife off because I'm always buying CDs she recommends, and they're all good ones so far. So,
So,
I wouldn't steer you wrong on purpose.
But
Well, it's definitely nice to meet you, Kate.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Nate.
so
good
next
times.
Wednesday on the Black Spitter podcast, we are going to be Vinyl Battle. We just figured this out during
Yeah.
this. We are going to be doing Ozzy's Bark at the Moon versus
Born
his
Again.
old
That'll
Black
be good.
Sabbath Born Again.
That'll be really good.
Man,
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. So if y'all want to do that, let me know. That is next Wednesday at 8
I'm down.
p.m.
yeah, I'll let you
Yeah.
know on Monday, like I always do. Andy.
All right. All right. And also, Jerry and I do our football show on Tuesdays. We do Gridiron Smackdown on Tuesdays. We'll be talking about the playoffs. So we got
You guys
that
picked the
going on.
Cowboys to win this weekend, right?
I think we're gonna win every weekend.
Bushy,
I think they
Bushy.
were split. I saw that.
Come on,
I think one
Bushy.
picked Tampa, one picked the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I picked the
I think
Cowboys.
I think
the
Andy
Cowboys
picked the
cannot
Cowboys.
lose to
Tampa
Andy
Bay.
picked Tampa, and I watched it. See, I know what was going on.
They can't lose to Tampa, man. They can't.
Yes, they can.
If they play,
I
if they
told
play
Nate
like this
today
past
that
weekend,
the
they
Cowboys will beat Tampa.
If they play like they did
Oh,
last
man.
week, then yeah, they will lose.
they better bring their A game.
Huh.
I think the Niners will lose to the Hawks. I think it's
I
hard
don't
to beat
think
a team
that. They'll
three
lose the next
three
week, I
times.
think, but they'll beat Seattle. So.
I think they'll beat Seattle. But
I
thank
don't
you
think
a
they
lot,
will.
guys.
All right.
I will see
Thanks
y'all
for hosting,
tomorrow.
Andy.
And thanks for saying yes, y'all. I really do appreciate every time that y'all are on.
I
really
love being on here. Thank you.
Hey man, it's awesome to be on here that I don't have to run the show. So it's a break for me.
And
Well, this is
tomorrow I
only
get-
my second appearance, but I love doing this whole, hey, pick your top 10 albums from this year.
It's always fun. It gets your brain
And then
going.
you go to Wikipedia, because I have to do the same thing, Kate. I go to Wikipedia.
I like to go through every album that was released because
and
that's
I'm going
cool.
January through December,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
I literally look at the entire thing every time we do a year.
then you go down to the bottom of the list, and it's like, we don't know what month it came out, but it came out
Yep.
that year. And you're
It
like,
came out that year, but we don't know.
Well, if you want to
But
be
that's
on
like
tomorrow,
that
Nate,
Gustav Holst popped up. I was like, damn, I love that. So I'm gonna shout that out because that's such a great piece of music.
we lost Eddie for tomorrow. If you want to take a spot tomorrow for 91, let me know.
that'll be tough, man. I get out of work at 7 or 7:30. Dude, I'm doing hospital work now.
I know.
I don't know what time I get out.
Well,
I know what time I'm supposed to work.
You can always make a fashionably late appearance like you did on the Pink Floyd episode, man.
It's 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So
Oh, 9?
9 p.m. Eastern.
You know what? Yeah, I don't have to be up Friday morning. Yeah, count me in.
Okay, cool. See you tomorrow.
Another good website to go to. I use Best Ever Albums,
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that one.
and I like that
Usually,
one
like
a lot. They
what do you
do
call-
every year from. I think they start in the late 40s.
I gotta
Oh,
look.
wow.
I had one that I really liked
Yeah.
that I found. Yeah, I think it is that best ever albums. Yeah,
Yeah,
that one's really nice.
got
And then you
each
can
year
click on the
has a-
album
at
and you
least
get all the
1,000.
track list.
Yeah,
I got to
Yeah.
say, Andy, before you shut this thing down, that you
Yeah.
advertised me as from that metal station. And my podcast co-host said, hey, make sure you plug the podcast. And I'm like, I don't know why you picked that metal station, because I always put that second, because all I care about is my podcast.
Yeah.
So you got to check out the Plug podcast,
You
Music and
can put
More
it right
with Bushy
there.
and Metal Mike.
You could, like I do Freeform Rock podcast. You
Yeah,
could
but
put
look,
the plug.
it's the Plug Podcast, Music and More with Bushy Metal Mike. It's too long, dude.
Oh, okay. No, you can put it along the whole thing. It works.
Oh yeah, I will. I knew that I wrote it down, but I was so late today, and everything I did from the top of my head.
No
You're
worries,
okay.
Andy.
I-
You're
I-
doing great.
I plug
Look,
your
Al-
podcast
Al-
all the
Al,
time.
you're a New Yorker, right? Or are you New York adjacent?
Jersey boy.
New Jersey, same
Oh,
shit.
oh, no, it's not. But
You spent a lot of time in
I
New
love you,
York.
Al. Al's the only Cowboys fan here, and I'm talking shit to him.
Hey,
Wow, what's
hey,
up?
But as a New Yorker, we gotta get our shit out there. That's all I was going to say. We just gotta get our shit out there.
hey, Bushy, I bring you up all the time. You and Metal Mike and plug your plug. So on everything I do, you know that. You
Yeah.
don't listen, so you don't know. But,
Well, because you keep playing stuff like Hot Poop and whatever that shit was
well,
last
you
week.
listen for the comedy, not the freaking album. Shit.
All right, well, good night,
All right,
guys.
I'm going.
I'll be seeing
Good
you all
night.
All right,
tomorrow.
I'm going to bed.
All right. Good night, guys.
Take it
All right,
easy,
everybody.
guys.
Take care.
Good times.
Night.
So much fun. Good to meet you,
Later.
Kate. You guys be
Nice
good.
meeting you, Nate.
All right. Later. Bye.
Good night.
Bye, guys. Good night.